So Chat's just gonna have to endure the fact that I
Not
saw
even streaming to the Discord.
No.
one thing at a
Still
time.
failure.
All right, Chat. Listen, Chat. Hello. How are we doing today? I had those badak noodles, and they're very spicy. So if I sound a little weird for a few minutes, it's because oh my god, everything burns. Breathing burns. Talking burns. Oh, talking does burn, like in the back of your mouth. Holy fuck.
It's okay. We can get you some candy afterwards.
But imagine if I had that beforehand. That'd be pretty
Okay.
bad. That'd be pretty bad. All right, gotta turn on the bickering bunch music. We're a little late today. I didn't wake up until late, so I ended up being late to my own stream.
You always gonna throw Fuzzy under the bus. Okay.
No, I was late.
Yeah, Fuzzy deserves to be thrown under the bus this day.
I don't lie when I make a bad. Gengoy donates.
That's not true.
Gengoy's been shush you. The Gengoy's been a member for 36 months as a solver miner. Thank you for the long-term support, Gengoid. And my bell fell
Also,
over.
Harlot gifts 3 memberships, 2 of which went through.
Good job.
Chat.
Good job, Harlot.
Harlot has broken the
He has broken them. There is currently 2 bounties. The above max tier bounty on Hugo Fugo. You know what? Fuck it. And Juan VFT has a tier 3 bounty.
Oh. Good for Juan. Good for him. All right.
Juan.
So to get started, I get to gloat, and I even wrote in the description that I'm going to gloat today. Because when we played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, I had a suspicion upon playing it that I was right about a lot of things. And it turns out I've been right about every absolute thing we've talked about. And it's all been confirmed today. Paradox takes the blame for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 sales flop, announces $37 million write-down. Why did we write? Because in our stream prior, we basically talked about how it was very obvious that it was the publisher's fault, and it was more or less confirmed with this article here that Fuzzy grabbed, where we have a quote, "How do we get them to not call it Bloodlines 2? Chinese Room co-founder reveals early Masquerade doubts." The former creative director for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has revealed how he initially wanted to publisher Paradox to drop the Bloodlines 2 name because he felt his project didn't have enough time or resources to deliver a worthy sequel. Following the years of delays and a change, developer Bloodlines 2 finally released in October and was widely criticized by critics and users, many of whom disliked its RPG offering, combat, and more linear gameplay. So yeah, it was originally started development with Hardsuit Labs and then transferred to the Chinese Room. The Chinese Room is a British team. Now, we don't know exactly why it was transferred from Hardsuit Labs, but this is the one thing that I have yet to be proven correct on, and my ego will soar if I'm right about it. But my theory is that Hardsuit Labs was hyper woke because we looked at some of the team members there, and they were also super duper like incompetent when it came to like the Unreal Engine, which means that they didn't have the talent or the skill to even do the sequel to begin with. Yet they were tackling it. And also the writers for Masquerade Bloodlines 2 had also changed massively over the time from the original game's launch and from now. So it didn't look like it was going to be like that. Paradox came into the room and then handed it off to Chinese Room. So, who the fuck says users for video games? Listen, it's a journo, okay? I stopped reading the article because I got the tidbits I wanted out of it. The rest of it's not that... I mean, there is some other stuff there, but it's not really relevant to what we're talking about. So, yeah, when it comes down to it, the big thing here is that the Chinese Room, the British game dev studio, was like, yeah, no, we can make like a like a Dishonored style game. We can make like a sort of a point and click sort of adventure style game. That's what we can do. We can salvage your resources from the investments you put into Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and we can salvage it and try to turn it into a game. But let's drop the name Bloodlines 2 because we, quite frankly, do not have the resources to deliver a worthy sequel to the franchise. And Paradox was like, no, we don't want you to do that, because literally we cannot like do this without you. Like, we need you to make the sequel. And the reason why is because they didn't want to lose the pre-order sales. We don't have confirmation as to that, but I'm almost 100% certain, because this game had a shit ton of pre-order sales for its initial investment, already putting money down towards the game. That's a big deal because those pre-order sales could translate into a lot of money. And so if they drop the Bloodlines 2 name, a lot of those pre-order sales would evaporate because everybody who had pre-ordered the game isn't going to get it anymore, you know? Because like, well, that's not Bloodlines 2 and I pre-ordered Bloodlines 2. And so they knew that there would be a backlash from that. But the issue is Paradox were thinking short-term here. They were thinking short-term about the immediate future rather than the long-term repercussions. The long-term repercussions was they lost $35 million, and the game isn't really salvageable from a sales standpoint. Now, fun fact, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is going up. It's actually going up in its reviews and has been going upwards for a long time. And is continuing to trend upwards. I have played this game. It isn't a terrible game. Anybody who tells you that it's the worst game ever made is a grifter and is lying to you. Is it a good game? Not really. Is it a game you should pick up? No, not really. But is it the worst game ever made? No. If you find this thing for $15, it's not bad. It's actually it does have fun parts about it. There's certain parts of charm about this game. The issue is that this game is not a sequel to Bloodlines Masquerade, nor is it really an RPG for that matter. It really isn't. Grumpy Rat donates $10 and says, hey all, hashtag rape your Jews. Thank you for the nation, very generous. Then Shadowfox shows up and donates $10 and says, be honest, they probably would have sucked either way, but it probably would have been better if they didn't try to back the VTMB Bloodline name. No, I disagree. I think the Chinese Room are much more competent than people give them credit for. They actually have a relatively decent track record with the games they produced for the medium that they produce games for. People like their games, as is apparent by their most recent works with Still Wakes the Deep. It was well received. And again, it wasn't like the biggest game ever made, but people do like them. They're not the worst studio ever. And that's the thing that I was talking about. They can deliver good games. It's the issue is that they weren't allowed to make the game they were skilled at. They were forced to make a game they didn't know how to make, they didn't have the resources to make, and they didn't have the time to make it. They didn't extend the development time for the Chinese Room. They delayed the game, yes, but they didn't really give them the adequate time years-wise to develop. They were operating on the delays Hardsuit Labs had received, which was for them, and they were supposed to already have been on the works, bearing in mind that the Chinese Room had to pretty much start from scratch, with only using some of the resources and stuff that was already made, and just remodeling it, reworking it into what they wanted to produce. So, no, I disagree with that. I think I'm right. Velizeri donates $10 says, yay, it's another Kib love and positivity stream. Here to reinforce my faith in humanity. Welcome to stream. Yeah. Like I said, I think the Chinese Room are good developers that just got shafted by Paradox's crappy management. And that's what it looks like to have happened here. And it looks like it's been confirmed here, which is very satisfying. Very satisfying to me because people disagreed with me. And now I've been proven right multiple times. So take that. Never disagree with me again, Chatfish. Damn, he's so mean.
To give him something I want to point out, and also stream paused.
Oh, whoops.
So I think you're absolutely right with the main reason being they refused to pull the name was the pre-order sales. And this is just proof yet again, that would be proof yet again as to why pre-orders ultimately end up hurting the games.
Mm-hmm. You know, the big thing here is that the Chinese Room are good game makers. And when I played the game, the game was actually fun. It just wasn't really a sequel to, Vampire the Masquerade. That's the big thing. Had they been allowed to do what they wanted to do, I think they could have made a fun game. I think the game would have not been hugely successful. I think it might have been a loss considering how much money they'd already invested with Hardsuit Labs. It'd be real hard to turn that around. But I don't think they would have lost $35 million. I think they could have tightened that up quite a bit and turned that into something that could have actually generated them into the positive black over like a year or two, because it would have gotten popular by word of mouth. Yes, they would have taken a hit for changing the name. Yes, YouTubers and shills would be mad, be like, "Why they changed the name? It's not a sequel to my game." But it wasn't going to be anyways. Do you want it to have the name and it still not be it? Or do you want like a game that might be salvageable and fun? I would rather take a fun game than a shit game. I don't care about the name, all right? Like, Bloodlines Masquerade 1 happened decades ago. We were never going to get a good sequel to this game, all right? It's been too many years since the writers basically worked on a game, and if you know anything about game making, it is very rare for a writer or somebody to return from a project and make it continue being good. That's just not good. The problem is that when you're in a workflow, when a studio is in a workflow and they're producing something, they should not deviate from that workflow. You know, when Halo 1 was made, they made Halo 2. When Halo 2 was made, they made Halo 3. They kept the workflow going. Were there problems in between them? Yes. But because they kept the workflow, they kept the same spirit. When you take a big pause and you break apart teams, what happens is that workflow is disrupted. Copyright protected content, go fuck yourself. Copyright protected my ass. Fucking bullshit. Fucking stupid fucking capture card crap.
Denied.
Kibs needs more computer parts.
Well, now that you got it fixed, you got more donations.
We do. Let's see. Shadow Fox $10 say, I was saying that it hurt the game more because they tacked on the sequel name. If it was its own game. Okay, when I change it, its own game, then it probably would have been fine. Yeah, that's my entire point. Would have been saying. Thank you for the donation. Very generous, little shadowfish. And Ekman does $2 and says, maybe a fine game, but not the Vampire Masquerade. So one of the issues is that there's actually a myriad of issues to talk about with this game that I'm not going to waste too much time because we've already talked about it in previous streams. Come on, please don't cop now. Damn it. Come on. All right. So the big issue with this game is that there's a couple issues here. One, lore. We need to talk about writing. The writing and the lore that the Chinese room is operating off of is flawed on its foundation because the writers who write Vampire the Masquerade are kind of politically motivated, and it's kind of been going downhill ever since. So, narratively, the Chinese room has their hands tied behind their back. They cannot willfully not write or use the modern lore because that's not what developers like this are allowed to do. They have to use the lore that they're given because they can't really build their own setting. They're using the license. And so they're going to have to operate off modern lore. This goes for 40K games as well. This goes for Star Wars games. This is why when you make a new game, even if it's new Star Wars or new 40K, it's always going to be rocky because it's on rocky foundations. Dawn of War 4 is on the foundations of modern 40K. Modern 40K is considered by many to be bad. Now, that's their opinion, but so no matter how you slice it, people are going to be mad because it's going to be operating on modern lore and modern retcons and designs. That's just sadly how it's going to be. That does not excuse them because it's still fair criticism about the story and the universe, but you can at least understand why the story is like why you're an elder vampire. It's because elders in the new lore are kind of not as scary as they were in the previous. They've kind of dumbed down the setting quite a bit. And I did take a cursory glance at the modern lore, which is not very good, mind you.
Is it where vampires are not evil? They're actually just misunderstood?
Yeah, it's kind of leaning on that angle a little. And so you're not really a monster anymore like you were in the previous one. The previous one, yeah, there were less evil vampires, but they were less evil. They're still evil though. They're not as mean as like some, but yeah.
Is this the has-been hotelification of cinema?
Yeah, pretty much. And so that basically happened to the setting. And so the issue with the Chinese room is that they can't really wiggle too much because they're working with the foundation. The foundation's bad. So that would have always sucked. But I think the game could have been good because there was a lot of attention to detail. Each different clan you choose had different fighting styles and skills, which made each playstyle quite unique. But the issue is that this game was a game trapped in two bodies, and it couldn't be either properly because it was like half the time it's trying to be like an RPG, the other half the time it's trying to be a point and click, and like almost the other time it's trying to be like Dishonored, and it's not really sure what it wants to be. And you can see that this is Paradox meddling with the game design. You can see this in Dead Space 3 as well, or anytime a publisher meddles in game design, or Command & Conquer 4, Twilight, that one has the same problem. There's publisher meddling, and you can feel it when you play the game where it's like, I can tell that they wanted to make something different, but it's obvious that they didn't. And you can feel it in the way the game behaves and how it's designed. And so that's basically what happened with this game. It was too many cooks, too many chefs in one kitchen, all meddling with it, and didn't let this game cook properly. Didn't let it be what it should have been. Which, honestly, it should have been a Vampire the Masquerade Dishonored style game. If it was, I think people would actually think this game was not only just great, but amazing, because they could have focused way more resources on the vampire powers. Your powers, when you do the melee stuff, when you get into the flow of the gameplay, once you start letting the game like have its like quirky sort of style, it actually is like the melee combat and spells and abilities feel really tight and controls. It feels weird at first and clunky, but once you get used to it after the second run, it was like it's like it felt right. And so if they had focused more on that melee combat, spells and stuff like that, and the reason why you can use guns in this game, by the way, there's a lot of fake news about this game, but you can use guns with your magic. But the game is primarily, like Indiana Jones, focused on melee combat. I think if they had also taken a page from Indiana Jones' locational melee damage system, like punching legs and arms and shoulders and like heads, that would have been a really good focus, especially considering you're a fucking vampire. So when you fight humans, you know, you're fucking flinging the little chuckle fucks around when you smack them. Like, they go flying. And when you fight ghouls, which you mostly fight most of the time, you know, they're going flopping around all the time, but they get back up. And then when you fight a vampire, it's actually like a proper boss fight, usually, because they're a lot tougher. Gregor's donates £5, says, World of Darkness has a poor understanding of societies and simulating a fantastical world, like the vampires rebelling for a liberal ideal in the 15th century, I assume? Kib Choice, Cookie, thank you for the donation. Very generous. Spider Pig donates $5. It says, or no, wait, no. Don't just move on to the next dono. Read them and respond to them. We gotta do that more often. Yeah, no, I can see that. I can definitely see that when it comes to like how they're rebelling in society. And that's one of the big issues here, is that what made the first Vampire the Masquerade game so interesting was that it focused on the politics of the vampire world and the different clans struggling to maintain the masquerade and trying to survive. Because if the greater world of humanity knows that the vampires exist, it would be a bloodbath. And one that would probably... Oh, this website's so shit. One that would probably lead to the extinction of the vampires ultimately. Not to mention, it would give all the power and resources to the vampire hunters. God damn. I'm going to kill myself if that happens one more time with this. It's this website. We'll take that as a sign from the gods that want to move on with our lives. But yeah, so that basically wraps up the Vampire Masquerade Bloodline stuff. Basically, when it comes down to it, the synopsis of it was, yeah, Paradox admits they were wrong. They made a developer develop a game they shouldn't have. And they lied to people by making them have the name Bloodlines 2. And they screwed over the developer. The only thing Paradox did right here was confessing that they fucked up. I mean, to be fair, there was already enough leaks from the Chinese Room, because you can tell the Chinese Room are mad, by the way. Their entire reputation got soiled in this game. They were actually in the process of making pretty good like reputation gains, and then they made this game, and the reputation went back to the mud. So you can understand why the Chinese Room developers are very upset here, because they feel robbed of what could have been a game that would have gotten them more publicity, more money, and helped them, and now they're, you know, well, they've got the stigma of we made Bloodlines 2 attached to our studio now. It's not a good thing. It's a black mark on a studio, and it's definitely going to hurt team morale quite a bit. Spider-Pig donates $5, says, Xmas Deck Keeb. The best criticism I saw was that it was two games at odds with one another. The Elder Games and the Malkavian game Pet Kamigawa. I know, that's what I said. That's what I said literally in the first stream. It's two games in one body. And then I told other people that. And it's funny that they regurgitate what I said, isn't it? Just like, what? The long-awaited Minecraft-like finally be playable next year. Another Minecraft clone in the year 2025 of my lord? My god. Revived survival RPG Hytale already has a release date after springing back to life, but the owner is reminding everyone the game isn't good yet. Okay, I feel like that wasn't like a full quote on like the whole thing. The game isn't good yet. Like it's it's not good yet. It's not. We're not at a state we want to be at yet. I assume it's on Steam, isn't it? Who grabbed this article? You know. That was
Which
my
article?
article. Hytale's not on Steam. You're racist.
No, it's not. Not yet.
Now tell us about Hytale, Chumpus.
I assume it's coming to Steam. But so basically, I just wanted to share this because this was a bit of, positive news. So Hytale basically is as it says, it's a survival RPG very much inspired by Minecraft. I mean, see the graphics right there. It's Minecraft-y. But the big thing here is basically the studio. I'm pretty sure they were bought, or they were owned by Riot. So Riot canceled the project that after they'd broken up for like 7 years and closed the studio. So the owner went and bought the rights back to the game and has now resumed development on it. Because they want to make an actual game. It's their passion. And Riot just shut them down. So they bought it back, they're going to release it into early access, and they're going to charge $20 because they feel like the early access isn't the game won't be finished yet, and $20 is the reasonable price for what will be available in early access. And they straight up tell people, if you're not interested in playing the game when it's not finished, please don't buy it.
Okay. Honesty and clarity is always a valued and rare commodity in the games industry. But the one thing here is that... so I'm going to ask you a question. This is also one that I imagine Chad has too. So everybody knows that Minecraft started out as like sort of like a little bit of an experiment thing and wasn't really, it was an accidental success, right? But it turned out to be huge. But one issue that Minecraft suffered from and still suffers from this day is that it actually has no vision of what it wants to be. Like, it has no vision. Microsoft has had it for years and doesn't know what to do with it. Even the people working on it are like, we don't really know where to take this game. We have no clue where this is going to go. They're basically making recipes and items that don't serve a purpose, or worse, side grades, or are completely nullified by other things. And so they have no idea what to do with their game.
Ever since the Bedrock came out, like that was it. That was all their ideas. I think the last biggest update they had was like Sky Factory stuff, and then like some types of technology creation, and that was it.
Wasn't Sky Factory a mod though?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Minecraft is just a mod platform. It's basically all it's become. Because it has no idea what it wants to be for itself. Yep, and Hytale is a game with a vision. It's basically trying to make the game into a fantasy sort of like adventure, right? That's what I'm asking you. This is a question for you.
Yeah.
So what is Hytale's vision?
As far as I can see, yeah.
Like, what do you know of it? Like, what's the goal?
From what I've seen is just bits and pieces, because I've just kind of been not super looking into it, just kind of catching bits of it as it surfaces. See, the whole point was, and people apparently were very interested in it when it got cancelled, is that it's going to be an open world survival RPG with focusing on actual RPG elements to the game. And they kind of want to have like a fantasy setting, so it's going to be, they want it to be a fantasy setting, but with open world survival Minecraft-y mechanics.
Okay, I mean, that looks interesting.
It already sounds more interesting than Minecraft. So is there like level ups? Like, do you like make different classes? Do we know anything about it? Do they have a page that I can look at so I can see what their game is? Because the one thing that always sucked for Minecraft for me was there wasn't really, like, it was like a game you played with your girlfriend, or at least I did at my time, and then like you just built
So you never played it.
Damn.
I posted the link directly to their website.
Okay, let me
So
cover
what was
it.
that, kids? I said something, but you might not have heard it.
I think we're good. I don't think we need to hear it again, you fat
You
fuck.
probably felt it, though.
He's like, ugh. You chubby little bitch. All right, so
Yeah, look at my profile picture, kids.
chunky.
He's large.
Yes.
Big chinned even.
Let's watch their Yup Nut video.
It's
Copy
copyright
protected content.
Are you shitting me right now? I'm gonna fucking... I'm gonna fucking put the other video card in. You know why? Because the other capture card didn't actually cause any issues. The issues didn't matter. This
Did you say
Media
you-
thing with its copyrighted bullshit it's a YouTube video. It's literally not copyrighted.
Clearly, the YouTube video is copyrighted.
Like Media, like I do not recommend their cards. I do not recommend their cards because they're fucking ass. Oh my
Why
god.
don't you go back to the old capture card because that wasn't the problem.
Yeah, gotta fucking go back to the fucking capture card. That's fucking bullshit. Fucking, they don't have the right to determine that. They genuinely don't. All right, so let's see. Fuck, I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. It already looks visually more distinct. Oh no, it's Beano.
It's not missing an arm.
True.
Yep.
So it's got farming, chickens, mining and wood chopping, cats, much more fantastical world looking, I'd say.
More alive, I would say. The
But-
fuck's with the music, speeding up and slowing down all the time.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, Shadows of Colossus.
Donkey Kong level.
Donkey Kong.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Way more interesting monster design, I'll say.
That spider had boobs on its foot. That's all right.
Okay, there's like magic, there's like different two-handed weapons and stuff.
Their eyes are uncanny.
Their eyes are uncanny. They're too big and too detailed.
Oh, like your favorite thing, mini games.
They have lobbies. Oh, look at Starship Troopers. The original version.
Fucking Christ.
No, what is it? The Helldivers. There you go.
So it's a
Well,
pretty
Roblox has a new competitor.
it is a pretty ambitious game, especially because it's like the boasting about mod support. So they have a good fundamental grasp of the fact that what makes survival crafting games really interesting is actually the modding support they receive. So they got a
So, to
pretty good
me-
grasp there.
This looks like a amalgamation of Roblox and fucking Minecraft.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it might actually be interesting.
they're better quality than both, but that's not a high bar at this point.
I don't know if it's a better quality.
Well,
We don't know because we haven't played it. Yeah.
Yeah,
graphically,
well, no,
it's better.
even then, how do you beat something iconic?
You
That
beat
is the question.
Oh, how do you beat like something iconic like Minecraft?
No, so for example, Kibs, other games that are graphically iconic. Halo 3 is graphically iconic. How do you beat
Oh,
Halo
visual.
3?
Uh
Yeah.
so the big thing is you don't beat Halo 3. Like
Yeah.
you can't beat something else. You just need to develop your own style and just roll with
Yeah.
it. And then you have to
Yeah, I think
hope that it
that's the problem.
sticks.
I think that's the
Cabal?
problem with this game.
Yeah, you might be
trying to
right.
beat. It's trying to beat Minecraft at its own game.
Yep.
Cabal says, game is meant to be a complete expansion of what their Minecraft modding team originally wished Minecraft was capable of.
Okay. So it's going to be basically developing its own identity. I mean, mechanically it sounds like it's going to have its own identity on paper. It's going to be basically a more, from the sounds of it, a more rooted experience. Because Minecraft is very sandboxy, which means that they will actually. So what's going to happen here is actually they just lost sales. What makes Minecraft's appeal is that it's a complete sandbox. This is going to be a little bit less of a sandbox, but still be a sandbox, but a more focused experience. So it's going to be focused on like RPG, which again is much more in my vein of interest. So it appeals to me a bit more. Versus Minecraft, you can turn it into those things, but usually there are mods that you'd have to get to do that. And even then it's a bit, all over the place because there are limitations due to the engine. Well,
Cabal says, kind of missing a lot of context. Game is being made by one of the most successful modding groups from Minecraft. The dev issue is related to complete rebuild on a new engine after years of work.
Yeah, I was
So is this
gonna
their own proprietary engine?
build off that. Let me level up a little bit. This started in 2018, and they suffered a lot of standard dev problems, especially going from a modding team to full-on dev team of
Yep.
scope creep, technical ambitions, and as I was gonna get to and chat pointed out, a complete engine rewrite in Java to from Java to C++ under the idea that there was gonna help for a multi-platform release. Then they got bought by Riot, and that new engine they were building under Riot, this complete engine rewrite, was taking a long, long time, and it led to almost no communication, a very sluggish pace. It was clear, and they're on top of that, during this time, they were completely rewriting mechanics or redoing mechanics that were already functionally workable. They were already working, and they just would completely scrap it, and they couldn't just get a set definitive, okay, it's complete, the 8 world release, since it's on early access, this is what we're building off of. And it just led to that spiraling out of control, which led to Riot just shutting it down, as there was no clear getting it done. And it's coming out now is because one of those previous versions they were building, they went, this is what we're building off of, this is it, no more of this technical ambition, we're actually getting this out. Which led to the, as the article states, a January 13th, 2026 early access at $20 that they're finally releasing after 8 years. Or when it's released, it would have been 8 years of development.
Mm-hmm. No, this makes total sense. Also, holy crap, they tried to do this in Java. Oh my god. So like, they're a victim of that too. So when we first started game making, like, oh my god, we're like, oh, like everybody seems to be using Java. Don't. Java's genuinely ass. It's more of like a, oh, that's cute, it runs in Java. That must have been a nightmare. Yeah, so oh god, the fact that they tried to do it in Java is a fucking funny thing. So yeah, there's a lot of limitations from Java. So switching to C++ or literally anything is a good move. So they built their own proprietary engine. That's good, which means it'll probably be very flexible at doing what it was built to do. So that's good. That also explains why they had demoed off comprehensive modding and editing tools, because they basically just made the back end a user accessible so that users can go in and tweak and edit and mod it. That's going to make this thing very versatile and robust, especially if the modding tools are comprehensive, because the one issue Minecraft suffers from is that it is very moddable, but it's not very comprehensive to mod Minecraft. Some things are easier than others, like skins or whatever, but like Java and certain things have limitations. And so if they build this thing, like, and they build it to be comprehensive and moddable and have its own interface for uploading custom assets, then you can, theoretically, this could be like, you could have like a conversion to Lord of the Rings, a conversion to Warhammer Fantasy, you know, like total conversion overhauls. Which means that this would make this incredibly flexible. It's also making use of a much better language for video gaming. Now, I usually hear more positive things about C#, but C++, it's still better than Java.
When I was initially doing research on languages, C++ was one that kept coming up as like one of the best. But yeah, apparently C# is also very good. Now, Cabal is also wanted to state, it's a miracle it's still alive, which is, yeah, the big news is that it's alive again.
The big thing is
restarting development in the original engine with the old build.
I mean, I was gonna say the big thing is, if there's a team behind it that is passionate about it, it's not necessarily a miracle. It shows good team skills. The team basically survived the riot incident and kept going, means that the team on board has a clear vision and everybody inside the team has high enough morale. That's a good sign. What's a bad sign is when team morale starts to plummet and people start dropping like flies. So the fact that they kept going and they seem to they kept their chin up the entire time is a good sign. It means that they're probably going to get this thing done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a game that I would personally want to play, but you know, for people who really like Minecraft and want to see more done with it, I can understand why they're doing this.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm not a super big fan of is that I like the idea of Minecraft. I just didn't like the fact that everything was a square. You know what I mean? Like, if they could just do this but not be square, that'd be great. That'd be great. Like, something styled like Valheim would be okay with me. a bit more. But it's one of those things they wanted to go with the blocks. I get that the blocks do make constructions and building and level generation easier, because it's easier for systems to handle because it's much simpler. You don't have to worry too much because it's like, okay, well, it's gonna be squares. You know, it's not gonna be like rounded edges to the world.
Yeah.
The game only have a change if someone make a Hatsune Miku mod, says India. Ah, I see.
All you need to do to get India to praise your game is put Hatsune Miku in it.
Damn. He's easy like that.
You know what that means for Legend of Terrestrial, Kibs?
No. No. Chacha donates $5, says, I've had my eye on this game for a while. Glad it's still in development. Hashtag Cow slot. Hashtag cookie. Thank you for the nation, Cow. Very generous. But yes, it looks like it's still cooking along.
Yeah, they clearly learned the lessons they learned from when they started of, okay, let's not beat around the bushes and actually release a product for people to purchase and play.
It will launch in early access in January.
Alright, so we can expect to see it. We might take a squeak peek at it next year. What? And that's why I don't give discounts to Kibs? Indio. You little Oreo. Next up we have is Valve developers counters calls to scrap Steam AI disclosures. Says it's a technology relying on cultural laundering, IP infringement, and slopification.
Oof.
That's pretty damn fucking accurate, though. That's on point for everything. Technology relying on cultural laundering, IP infringement, and slopification. Yes, all three of those things. So when game developers use AI, it's usually because they're just literally unable to be creative, right? Game developers need to be creative. You need to be exercising your creative muscle. You need to be designing new enemies, characters, because if you use AI to design it, firstly, AIs aren't AIs, we already talked about this, they're algorithms, and they use stuff from a database that they've collected from other existing IPs. That is IP infringement. Legality hasn't quite caught up with this, but as time goes on, any games that make use of non-proprietary AIs, like, for example, the ones that Stardock uses, Stardock will be fine, because they use their own system. But if you're not Stardock or whatever and using your own system, and you're using somebody else's thing, and it's using IPs from like Star Wars and stuff like that, you are technically violating multiple other companies' other IPs. Because you're literally not creating anything new, you are literally just taking somebody else's work and changing it slightly. Then you also have IP infringement, yep, and then slopification. Slopification is an accurate word, because I think it should be adopted more mainstream. What it means is it's basically like slop. Like, what is a slop, AI slop game? It's a game that's just out there, and it's crap, and it's like literally the most bare minimum effort. It's creating a culture of laziness. We need to be building things from the ground up, right? We need to literally be having people handcraft video games, because handcrafted video games are always going to be better than AI video games for one simple fact. An AI will never have vision, but a person will have vision. And what sets a person apart is if a person can have a vision, you will get something great. You will get Halo. You will get something like the classic Call of Duties. You will get something like Command and Conquers or Fables or, Elder Scrolls. You need to have a vision to create something. And that is something we need to see more of. More people with visions. And if you can't make that cut, that's the free market for you. The free market has chosen that you were not adequate. You lost. And so you will now be relegated to not having as many sales as your competitors. Do better. This free market creates basically like an incentive and a culture for competing. Try to be better. Baldur's Gate 3, people revere that game. I don't know why. I think it's garbage. But people do. They put it on the high pedestal. Other game developers need to try to be as good as that game. And if they can't, then they simply need to settle with what they are. Mediocre. And if you and that's why I always hate that mentality, especially when developers make something good in the industry. It's like, oh, well, we shouldn't have done that. And also other people shouldn't be held to the same standards. No, they should be held to the same standard. If they're making the same game in the same genre, they should be held to the exact same standards as the peak of that genre, because nobody's going to care. Your consumer's not going to care. Oh, I made a Command and Conquer knockoff. Was it good? No. Okay, well, you made a game that was inspired by Command and Conquer and it sucked. And now no one's gonna buy your game. Sorry, but that's reality. Like, it's not about goody feels, you know. It's like, it's about results. And if you can't deliver something quality, nobody's gonna care. No one's gonna care about me. No one's gonna care about you. No one's gonna care about anybody. Because the reality is, yeah, you tried, but that wasn't good enough. Now pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again. A Valve artist has defended AI disclosures on storefronts like Steam, saying they only scare those with low effort products. Exactly.
So, I actually saw like this conversation happen through Twitter. I couldn't find the original thing, but basically, this all started because Tim Sweeney decided to bash Steam and tell them they need to take down the AI label on games because it just hurts games. There's no need to. Everything's made with AI now. There's no need to disclose that.
Now, this is a trend I've noticed Tim Sweeney do with Steam for a long time. He'll just be contrarian. He has a very bad habit of being contrarian to whatever Steam does. While at the same time, he does some really terrible things behind it with his own company, his own engine. He never reminds you all of the encouragement of gender-neutral language in Unreal Engine 5. That is Tim Sweeney. Now to the AI debate. Hold on. As to the AI debate, I think Chap mentioned this in a previous stream. Unreal Engine uses a lot of AI, generative AI, and a new term now to bring to y'all chat, agentic AI agents, which are coding agents that do the coding for you that Unreal Engine 5 has. All of these are garbage, by the way, because most people, as I always repeat, Tim Sweeney and many of these other developers are trying to use it as replacement and not just another tool. Those that use it as another tool, okay, you can get use out of it. That's not what Tim Sweeney and many of these other AI slop games are using. They're trying to use it as replacement just to lower costs and pull this lower for trash to squeeze people for money and get higher profits.
Yep.
And it's not like that.
Good.
It's literally that the entirety of the industry is trying to move over, yes, but they're trying to set the standard to be lower than it currently is. And they just outed themselves as like, yeah, our future is AI slop.
Yeah, we want to be as lazy as possible.
Yeah, so not only do they want to raise the cost of games, they want to reduce the production cost of them. So they just want to make more profits for less work and less quality. That's so fucking scummy. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it is. It is funny and also disgusting, as anybody that uses these AI agents, the developers just want to be able to just type a few sentences into a input and generate a game for them and charge you $60 for it. Excuse me? F you developers?
No, $70.
Yeah, and some of them want to push 80, 90, or even $100.
I also want to point out, he indirectly just admitted that they use AI to make their games, and that they shouldn't have to disclose that.
Yeah, on top of the...
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, Borderlands 4 used AI. Shocking.
I mean, we all kind of suspected it. I mean, Bucky, do you remember that performance? Oh, fuck. So goddamn.
Performance was better before they fixed it.
They started patching it, and it's got worse. And then fucking these out there like fucking greaseball Randy Pitchford's like, let me help you set your settings right. Turn on the AI frame generation. It's like, okay. So what is AI frame generation? It generates fake frames that are made using pictures of the game, which is bad because it means part of your game isn't actually real. So you might see things that aren't actually real and things like that, or like weird things like that. And so it's offset the fact that your frame rate's bad. That's not good. AI frame generation, no matter how you slice it, is a terrible thing. You should have native frames, not AI generated frames. Then at that point, like, your game is literally not your game anymore. It's just a bunch of fake pictures that aren't even the game. It's not even happening. What you see isn't happening. What are you saying? Oh, it's the in between frames. For those who don't quite understand, so an animator animates a cartoon, right? They make these thing called keyframes. So it's key points where the characters are. So basically, the in between frames are the frames that like match up. So if I have my left foot in front of the other, the next keyframe has my right foot in front of the other, and then the in between frames will match that up. Now, it's a little bit not as crazy as that in terms of how many frames it covers, but it's like more like there's more keyframes there. But the big thing is that those in-betweens are just all fucking wrong, or could be wrong, or you get weird visual things where like the hair looks weird and fake sometimes because it's constantly like changing because the pictures are changing.
Or the entirety, like the team sticks in like a fucking pornographic image in between one of the frames in a specific movie when they're going on a roller coaster. Shit was funny.
Oh my god. Bucky's referencing bad movies that are mean.
I posted the article of talking about Tim Sweeney.
Fuck Tim Sweeney.
Fuck.
Yes.
All my homies hate Tim Sweeney. Like, yeah, we hate him.
I
Oh,
distinctly
God.
remember when.
I forgot how much of a weasel he actually looked like. Fuck. He is like... He literally looks evil.
So I wholeheartedly believe that your core personality type affects how you look.
Apparently, he looks kind of like a weasel. You got beady little eyes. Oh my god, that's terrible. Epic boss Tim Sweeney thinks stores like Steam should stop labeling games as being made with AI. It makes no sense, he says, because AI will be involved in nearly all future production. It won't be though. And even if it is, it will not be in the way you're talking about it. Now, the thing about AI is AI can serve as a toolbox. You can use it to help search for like recent events you might miss. I use it now for searching like top game news, just to go research the article. But I don't actually use it, because if you use it directly, because I even have it open, I think. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm like, actually, no, I didn't.
Look at Kibs' browser history.
Damn. Okay, well, I did use it differently, but I have no idea why that's there. Why it says Paradox. Whatever. So I was trying to find the Paradox like web page to see if they had any like official statements on it. That was from the previous thing. But yeah, so like, why are you using Google's instead of Waves? Because I don't have Wave Chatfish. Like, I don't care. Listen, last time I listened to Chatfish suggestions, they made me use DuckDuckGo, and that was a disaster. All right, DuckDuckGo sucks. So I'm tired.
Like 5 years ago. Kid.
Yeah, and I
DuckDuckGo
finally
was like good for a few years.
I
and then
finally
it just dropped off a
changed
cliff.
my search engine this year, okay? So I stopped using it. Because what I would do with DuckDuckGo is open a browser, type in Google, and switch over.
No. But here's the big thing for chat. I'll explain it in a way that you like the chatfish can understand with their tiny brains. Basically, Tim Sweeney's asking you, why do you have to label food products with lab-grown meat on the label? In the future, all food products will have lab-grown meat in it.
Oh my god. Didn't Campbell's Soup do something like that? They were in a drama recently.
So Campbell's, what was it? Was it the CEO or the second in charge?
That vice president.
Basically got caught saying that their products are for pores only, and they basically use artificial meat in them.
Yeah,
That's gross. That's actually disgusting. So like the
3D
only thing
printed
I'm
meat.
gonna be ever buying of Campbell's Soup ever again is gonna be just tomato basil soup, because you can't
I wouldn't
fuck
even
that
buy
up.
anything from them.
Listen, there's not a lot of brands here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
See, I used to fucking grab Campbell's Soup because I like the little chicken enchilada one. Then I found that there's another company that sells something like it too, but it's actually much better and the meat tasted better. And now I'm wondering if that's because of that.
It was fake meat in the Campbell.
Because
yes.
the other one's like, oh, the chicken tastes so much more like chicken than this one, whereas the other one kind of tasted bland. And I'm like, oh my god, I think the new soup brand, because they sell mostly taco stuff, but they also sell soups. Because they got a chicken enchilada one too.
I haven't had a canned soup Kibs in like a decade or more.
I sometimes get cans of soup and I get them in the thick cupboard because I use ramen and I use soup as quick foods for stream because they're quick to make. Like I had spicy ramen before today's stream using that habanero flavored one that was very, very toasty. God
Blake
damn it. Now I'm
says,
sad I had fake meat.
Kibs,
God
how
help
much for you to go on a Campbell Foods only diet until you develop a throat? I mean, he'll just get cancer, Blake.
me. Yeah, I don't want to have Campbell's soups. Like, I try to avoid canned soups if I can, because I actually want to learn to start making my own soups and just producing soups on my own. Because homemade soup is way better than canned, if you can avoid it. Canned is like a cheap alternative. It's like when my mom came over and showed me how to use canned chicken to make a pizza. And I'm like, the chicken tastes a little weird because it was in a can.
Bestie says, just buy pea soup that's a 10-minute make and actually has meal velvet unlike the ramens.
Listen, I like my spicy little Chinese noodle things.
Kibs, have you ever had gamer sup, Robin?
Gamer what? Gamer sup? What the fuck is gamer sup?
Gamer sup's a product.
I think I'm
of
annoyed by that
energy
word. I don't like that sup. That makes
Sup?
me gamer
SUPP?
sup. That's upsetting. I don't like
Gamer
it.
Someone
Gibbs.
last night, I believe, chat was wondering if we could get you to eat a Monster Energy based turkey. As in they soaked it in Monster Energy to cook it.
No,
Yeah, Gibbs.
that sounds gross. And Nate, I
Why
want you to
must
dox
energy?
those people to me now so I can hunt them down and kill them.
Okay, hold on, I have to find it.
Jeff is like, oh my god, start sweating. My god, I hate that. Also, the music stopped. I'm very sad
It was Trent.
about it. Of course, Trent would say that. Stupid little Canadian.
The turkey was
Canadian.
blue by the end.
Yes, you can tell because he says A at the end of his sentences. Literally. He does. He says A. He did that to me. Like, so what do you think of that A? And he's like, you're so fucking Canadian sometimes. It
You have a membership milestone,
makes
Gibbs.
me angry. It makes me...
You should read their full name.
He's doing it because he wants me to. Eugen Schmoogen 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 Bumbach 7960 says nothing and has been a member for 23 months as a loyal bucketfish. Who's a good little chatfish? You are Eugen. Eugen Smoogen. Are you going to join the Discord server and apply for a charity chatfish? He's like, yes, I will. I promise. And then he does. He goes and DMs Rapier right now. Good job. Very proud of you.
Yes, if you are trying to apply for that stuff, just cut out the middleman Kib and just DM me.
It's a legendary Mountain Dew marinated chicken. A unique recipe by the Wabo the movies, says Blake.
The sup is just short for supplements.
I don't like that. That sounds gross. I don't like it. Supplements, you shouldn't take supplements. You should
Kids
just
get sponsored by Gamer Subs.
no, I don't accept sponsorships because I don't want to be a sellout. So the big thing is that you know what happened to the last person that tried to offer me a sponsorship? I told them like
Gibbs, you
keep
wanna
your
be
money.
sponsored?
No. I like literally I don't expect sponsorships because I know like I'll feel bad and it will affect my view. That's why I tell every indie dev or even Stardock when they contacted me to cover their games, I'm like, no, keep your money. I'll cover it, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. You keep your money and you can give it to your team or spend it on some other YouTuber. The only money I take is from chatfishes. I want their money. Gibbs. No, Gibbs.
New idea. Instead of sponsoring Kibs, they just hop in and pay for a game fund.
You want to sponsor
get
Gibbs?
Gibbs to get
Several people
sponsored.
have, but I've turned them down every time.
I'm gonna get kids to get sponsored by something. I'm gonna make it a
How many
requirement.
of those people were Raid Shadow Legends?
Oh my god, I had to turn that down already.
Kids, you could have been Legend 28.
Gonna commit Kib aside. I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay.
Okay, do it. That's what he said.
Vesti says, take zinc supplements, guys. Fish oil, too. Take your vitamins.
Yeah, but just make food that has your vitamins. Your food should have everything you need in it.
Kibbs has no idea what that was a reference to.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I have no fucking clue what you little
Zinc
chatfish are talking about.
supplements is a hint, Kibbs. It's one of the main components of testicular production.
Making spooge. That's gross. TG is caffeine. Titty milk is best, says Hippo. What?
Gregor says, whatever you became game devs, will you refuse our donos?
No, I'll take your donos. Gibbs. It's not
See,
sponsorship,
Chat, all
though.
you have to do is, with every donation you make, just you say, this is a sponsorship donation. And you just
Hashtag
donate.
sponsored.
Handshake
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Don't give them ideas. They're easily impressionable chatfish. You give them an idea and they stick with it. All right.
Uh-huh.
Tim Sweeney is okay. So back to Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney. Oh my god. He just look at his beady little eyes. All right. So besides the fact that he looks like an absolute goober, he has been absolutely retarded. And the Epic's game store has been one of the biggest disasters. Like, there were so many ways he could have done that, because it made a bunch of exclusives that ended up harming games as a whole and basically making developers make scummy choices to throw their supporters under the bus. However, one thing I will thank Tim Sweeney for is he exposed other weasels like him, like Russ Bullock or whatever the fuck his name is from fucking Piranha Games, and all the other little fucking sellout shill fucks in the industry. Because all those little sellout traitorous fucks all took that stupid Epic deal. And so now I know who's a little scummy traitor and who can't be trusted now. Because you don't throw your own, like, as a developer, you should be trying to put your game everywhere. If you've got a publisher, well, you're fucked, because now the publisher has the ability to tell you what you can and can't do, depending on your deal with the publisher. And if you're, yeah, the publishers. Oh, middle management men. Oh, Frederick has been a member for 19 months, says, we must all give to Kibs. Yes, that is the correct spirit to have. Good. Just a damn. Oh my, it's Dawn of War. What the fuck? What are you talking about? It's Dawn of War. What the... Relic Dawn of War. What? Department of War now, isn't it? Oh, because, yeah. Oh, gotcha, the name. Gotcha. You're funny. You're a funny little chatfish. Artemis, make Kibs get sponsored by the Department of Defense. Okay.
I'll talk to Lockheed Martin.
I'll take a, you know what? Fuck it.
See, chat, I'll go ahead and...
U.S. Air Force backed
Lockheed
Kibs
Martin.
win.
I'll ask Lockheed Martin to do a stealth one.
What do you mean stealth one? What does that mean?
You ever heard of stealthing, Kibs?
What does that mean? That sounds sussy. What's going on here?
Is Artemis just a little sussy baka?
He's a sussy little baka, yeah.
Don't worry, Chad. He'll get backed by the U.S. Air Force.
Nice. I'll become the Stargate of YouTube channels. Based.
You'll become the new femboy recruiter.
At the end of each stream, I'll be like, join the Air Force. And like, if you're European, defect and join the defect.
You just proved yourself a liar.
Listen, if it's for the military and for spreading managed American democracy, so be it.
So, two things in regards to the Epic Game Store. There's only 2 games that I was okay that they went with Epic exclusive for a year. One, because they immediately offered my money back and gave me my Steam stuff still anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Was Phoenix Point. And they straight up came out and said it and explained why they accepted it, because they would allow them to reach those extra stretch goals they wanted. And they straight up offered refunds right off the bat to anyone who backed the project. And the other one was Chivalry 2, who did it for a year for their early access period. And the reason I'm entirely fine with Chivalry 2 doing it is that game only exists because they took the Epic exclusive.
There are some cases
because
where
their studio was actually going under and before they got that.
There are certain specific cases where I'm more or less okay with the deal if the game would have never been made because they couldn't get investors to pump money into it to begin with. Because there's 2 games in particular that I'm aware of that only exist because of those exclusive deals. Now, those I'm more or less okay with because at least we got the game. Sins of Solar Empire 2 is one such game. It wasn't going to get the money to get started because they didn't have the resources to. And then Epic was like, hey, we'll give you the money to develop Sins of Solar Empire 2 if you take the exclusive deal. I'm more okay with that because the game would never have existed. And so it's like, okay, it's just a limited time thing, and that's just to get the game made. I can wait. I'll be patient. But if it's not that, and it's like, oh god, look at my desktop. It's got it on it. Disgusting. Oh, it's right there behind Sturm Rant. Or not Sturm Rant, Stamper Tantrums. Sins 2 is good?
Okay.
Yes. All right, so next article. Enough looking at Tim Sweeney.
Yeah.
Quiver News.
I also did find a picture of Peter
Oh,
Molyneux because I saw Rifford say how if it was true that their personality affects their appearance, Peter Molyneux would look weaselly. I looked him up. He looks like a weasel.
Peter Molyneux does look like a weasel. He's got like the little neck. He's like, hey, it's me, Peter Molyneux. I'm from Britain.
He looks like, let me sell you lies.
What if we talk about hand holding? Want to hold my hand? She's like, no, I don't. I don't want to hold your hand.
What if that's a core mechanic of our game?
What if you touch me? Touch me now. It's like, no, please, God, no, Peter. God, no. Rub your hands all over my body. You could smack it if you want. You could... It's a mechanic. That's the worst part. That's all mechanics that he actually made. You can touch my private bits, but I won't like it. The stream is sponsored by the stream is sponsored by the Polish race. Let the white and red flag fly as you become more like the beautiful white eagle. Hashtag cookie. Hashtag Kib choice. Thank you for the nation. I'm now
Poland to get spit roasted by Germany and Russia again.
So when that happens, will Poland stop sponsoring me? In government in exile.
There'll be smaller donations. They'll never get
So
one.
before you play this next video, this was something I saw that because it just recently went on sale. That I don't think you will be interested in, Kibs. But I know some of chat like the idea.
Well, we covered games
roguelike.
that I'm not always interested in because the Bunch
Yes,
cast
I
is
know.
Chatfish cast.
But I wanted to mention, like, I know some people might be, and this looked like a potential little interesting
Now,
early access
before I
game.
press the play, give me a brief summary of what Rogue Command is.
So this is a single-player RTS roguelike game.
Okay.
Well, you will have meta progression. You basically create a bit of a build for your faction. So, like, you pick, like, your builder, what kind of builder units you have, your harvesters, and like a specialized military unit that can have some kind of abilities. And then as the run progresses, you unlock more units, and that's where the rogue element comes in. And it's just going through the process. And that's about all I've looked into it because I just saw it today and I was like, this looks like something I know some people would be interested in.
And let's take a look. Hold on, did she say deliciously addictive?
Rogue Command is a deliciously addictive
She did.
roguelike real-time strategy game. Please
I like how
join
you
us
said
for
she,
this
it was
gameplay
AI.
walkthrough.
Is it AI? It sounds like it has a
While
terrible
Rogue
voice.
Command plays like a classic RTS,
Hmm.
the roguelike aspect makes it unique. In the run setup, you choose your starters, your engineer, your economic structure, and your combat specialist. You will unlock new options as you play the game. For this one, we choose the Recycler as our combat specialist. So we will try to find cheap units that we can throw at the enemy. In this case, we went with the Robo Micros. Our specialist's ability will let us use their def to summon hordes of Robo Zombos to turn the tide of the battle.
Whoa, what? Wow, she is hard to understand.
After each
Or
level,
if
you
it's
get
AI,
It's
it's...
AI.
by choosing new
It's AI,
vehicles,
it
hacks,
keeps
and
messing up.
upgrades from the reward map.
like, just have somebody in the studio do the voice work. Why did you do this?
After elite enemy encounters,
So
you
the
get to
studio
choose a
is,
powerful hack that will
two
add a
guys.
new mechanic to your
Yeah,
combat
That
specialist.
one of them
apparently
voices.
are.
We will add the chance to be able to use
I think
our
this is
enemy's
their
def to make even
first
more zombies,
product.
Yeah.
I don't know.
pushing
Voices.
our
Actually, let me
slowly
double
mass
check that.
approach even further.
I mean, it doesn't look terrible.
Specialist hacks can really
I will say
modify
that
build on top
because
of
it's
the
two guys, you
interactions
can tell it
between
doesn't have an
the
art
units.
style too much. It's
Now
just
our
low poly.
zombies will move incredibly
It is low
quickly,
poly.
closing the distance
Not
to
as-
That was the
and
first thing I
attacking
thought
at
of.
a rapid pace. On each path we have
Yeah, it
no
looks-
choice, laid out powerful builds waiting to be discovered.
Like, some things do have unique designs, but like the overall art direction is
Winning
not
your
good.
first run is just the start. With every victory, you will unlock a new unique boss until you face the final challenge.
Still a cool concept, though.
That's the main thing I found interesting. Like mechanically, and the concept of it is interesting. And it's early access.
More ludicrous
That looks very derpy, yes.
Row Command. Out now for Steam. Early access.
That they hired an artist for. Alright, so let's...
Like if they had like an RTS, but this like in the style of Frostpunk, that would be freaking cool.
They'd have to disclose if they used AI.
Yep, it didn't. I think it's just for that video they used.
Yeah.
Or they hired someone who English is not their first language.
Yeah, because that wasn't very good. What?
No, every time it would say like the OR sound, the voice would wobble slightly. At the very top, that's a sign of AI usage.
It's a cute idea, but the big thing I'd say that an RTS needs is it needs identity. I'm going to always contrast this identity with things that I think have much clearer identity.
That is definitely
A visual
Wasn't this,
stuff.
waste?
A what?
Did you fully play this game yet, or?
No, it's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
see what I
this-
mean? Like much more identity.
Yes.
Has personality
was
to a
saying,
style.
I know some people really like roguelites or roguelikes, and I just saw that and I was like, oh, mechanically this looks interesting.
See what I mean? Look at this. Look at it. It's not super high poly. It's actually low poly. Very low poly. You can actually count the polys on the soldiers' heads. Like 4 or 5. But it has a very unique identity.
Those fucking tattooing.
Listen, they're just goofy. It's made by like a single Slavic dude, actually, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I agree with Blake.
He's been working on this thing for a fucking decade now, plus. It's looking good, though.
Brown and Gray, the video game.
Fuck you. It's just red. There's also red there.
No, it's got visual identity. Yes, it's war-torn, but it's appropriate. I mean, if you actually read the synopsis
It's a
of the setting,
doomsday event.
it's a war that's basically apocalyptic. The world itself is so toxic and inhospitable that the entire world has been blasted to hell. It's very appropriate.
Wish I could see it.
I hate.
After
Hey.
this, Kibs, after this bunch cast, you're gonna fucking swap out that goddamn graphic. I mean, the capture card.
I'm going to, but not today, because I'm lazy. We're $13 away from the daily goal. If we make it, we might let Grumpy Rat not be fried alive. She's like, okay, we'll let him live
It
a
does,
little bit.
just
We'll
from
let him...
the aesthetic of it does really remind me of that, what is it, Forever Winter?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Everything is just kind of gray.
Well, this is vibrant and colorful. It also feels kind of empty and soulless. But I think that my issue is because the low polyness of it. Also, the designs of the vehicles, when upon closer inspection, don't really have a... What's the word? Like a distinct look that's like, ooh, that's something that's going to be memorable forever, you know? Like, I'm going to remember this. It is an indie, I know. But it's just one of those things. You should always strive and push yourself to do the impossible. Alright, next up. Games run faster on SteamOS than Windows 11. AR's testing finds. Lenovo Legion Go S gets better frame rates running Valve's free operating system. Grab right down $13. He's doing it to save himself, Chad. He just didn't want to become a fish sandwich. You sure you don't want tartar sauce all over your body, boy? He's like, no. And thank you for the donation. Daily. Hashtag Rapier's Choose. The very generous Gumpy Fish. And we've now made the daily. You will be spared, Grumpy, but only for today. Your days of not being a fish sandwich are numbered.
Grumpy, $2 more would get you a pocket fish on Chivalry 2.
On Chivalry 2? He's got time he's got time, right? It's not
I'm
today.
just letting him know.
Yeah. And thank you very much.
Doesn't even have to do it right now.
You know what? Because I'm nice, put my Kibs choice to upgrading him to pocket fish. Because that'll be
What
easy.
Kib's choice? We've already used 30 of next
No,
month's.
listen to me. It's my Kibs choice. It's like fund. Add it there. See, look, I'll help Grumpy. Grumpy helped me make daily. I help Grumpy. There. It'll be taken care of, Grumpy. Don't you worry about it, little guy. Now, game runs faster on SteamOS than Windows 11 AR's testing finds. So, yeah, that's not surprising. The big problem with, like, Windows is got all this extra shit on it that consumes all this extra resources. Let's see, these are actual benchmarks. 1920 1080p graphics set presets, FPS higher and better. So the SteamOS is orange, Windows 11 is green, for Lenovo drivers, mind you, and Windows 11 Asus drivers are red. SteamOS basically
always
dominates almost
better.
every category. But hold up. Borderlands 3 is a fucking pile of shit. So do we really want to
Yes.
count Borderlands 3? Like, I'm honestly willing to dismiss this game because it's so poorly optimized. It runs like ass. So Returnal, Cyberpunk 2077, and Homeworld 3, and Doom Dark Ages, SteamOS trumps out every time.
Yeah, but what's the GPU in the system for the Steam OS?
Next
Do you
picture.
even know?
Lenovo Legion Go SBS. Low graphic presets. Okay. Windows 11 Asus wins that category. It loses. Well, that's Borderlands 3 yet again. Like, I don't know if I care.
And look, it's Homeworld 3.
Oh my god, Homeworld 3. Yay. The travesty of a fucking game.
The point being is it's basically always either a lot better or marginally better or like the same.
And the Steam
Like-
Machine is how much?
We don't know yet. I've seen the latest estimate I saw was people are saying it's going to be around 700, but we don't know yet.
The Legion Go
So-
is a PC handheld, says Ragnarok. So this is for PC handhelds. Lenovo Legion
Yeah.
Go. Benchmarks. And then, okay, so that's just for the handheld. Lenovo Legion Go's a clear improvement.
Yeah.
That's another
Um,
batch of benchmarks.
Yeah, from Legion Go, though.
I'm seeing if they have any other systems. Okay, so that's just relatively limited. We'll have to kind of wait for more. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is better because Windows throws on all this extra crap that's running in the background
AI bullshit.
that you don't need. That you don't need at all, or it doesn't help you in any way. Or gathering your data and stuff like that. And so, again, if you can minimize all those resources and cut those out, SteamOS should easily clear over the threshold. Maybe not by the largest margin ever, but by noteworthy, I would say, margin over Windows. So if they can just make SteamOS and perfect it to the point where it's very user-friendly, I would love to jump ship out of Windows and jump over to SteamOS. That'd be nice. I would like that.
Valve has been supporting more and more and slowly supporting the Linux ecosystem for a while now, and SteamOS obviously is their aim for that. How long will that take to get to desktops? It's a wait and see. Steam likes to keep this small scale and develop these properly more and more over time. They're not just going to try and rush us out, as we saw how long SteamOS has taken just to get the handhelds to do this kind of control group testing, where you can control for as many factors as possible, but the operating system changes. We'll see the results of the Steam Machine. And Lord knows, we badly need the competition.
I mean, more competition is good. The big problem is back when it made Windows and PC so good in its original days, at least comparatively to Mac and stuff like that, was the fact that it was PC. PC, personal computer. You could customize it, you could tailor it to however you wanted it to be. It made it much more viable to me, and it won a lot of people's hearts over back in the, late 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that. But as time went on, Windows has lost that. Also, because they dominated the market so hard compared to Mac, Mac just kind of lost everything as a competitor. Oh my god. It's one of
But
these
Kibs
websites.
Mac, it had Halo on it.
It did, but so did PC. Now, it did have some exclusives like Marathon and Myth, which now are experienceable on today because they're now functionable on Windows PCs as well. Because the modders and stuff patched them to be. So, yay. Take care, little grumpy fish. Have a good day. So yeah. Fuck! We don't want to be here yet. Stop. Stop making noises. Shut the fuck up. Alright, there we go. Close it. I hate websites. Data centers blamed for electric bill spike, new report says. Washington, as summer electric bills arrive with a jolt, a newly released independent report points the finger largely at the data center industry for the dramatic rise in wholesale power costs, spikes that are now hitting consumers in the wallet. The analysis, authored by Monitoring Analytics, the independent watchdog overseeing bulk electricity market operations by regional grid operator PJM, concluded that explosive growth in electricity demand from data centers is the primary reason behind a sharp price surge in PJM's most recent capacity auction. Interesting, Chatfish. Interesting.
What this translates to is for people places like in Pennsylvania, your bill for electricity could go up 800%.
Yeah, and this is this related to the AI usage stuff because of these data
Yes.
centers?
Yes.
Okay, because I had a theory that
100%.
was based on reading this.
So
OpenAI
not
is
only
one of
that-
the. Go ahead.
So not only that, Kibs, is that the AI center, this price is already going up as it is right now, and these data centers have nothing in them. And the price is already going up.
Jesus. That's agitating. Oh,
Why, Kibs?
it's going to. The AI bubble is already affecting so much. It's not even funny. I feel like the AI thing should be talked about with the RAM thing. Or do we have a RAM article? I don't think we do.
So what is happening in this case, Kibs, and why the price is expanding so quickly, is two things. These data centers need to have all of the stuff in place before the stuff can actually go in there. And so they're already bidding for watt hours or megawatt hours off the start. So if you didn't know this, kids, when electric generation happens, companies in certain areas will bid for that quantity. And so their bidding war has driven up the price.
Damn, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, so it's not even something they're utilizing now. It's just the fact that they build it, they have bid for it. The auction prices have skyrocketed the actual amounts, and even though the supply hasn't been utilized yet.
Now, on the East Coast, what's their policy on nuclear power?
Lol.
Okay, so that might play a role. And let me guess, coal power plants? They're
Yeah.
clean, but they're not as clean as nuclear. Yeah. See, atomic energy would help mitigate this. It would also cut down energy costs for citizens globally. Like anywhere you introduce atomic energy, it's going to be cheaper to maintain. Again, atomic power is the way forward. Why aren't we using
And
this?
not only this, Gibbs, all of the infrastructure costs, taxes, and electricity stuff to have these data centers put into any region is almost always funded by the taxpayer.
Duh, and they don't get any benefits out of it, do they?
No, it actually hurts them.
Yeah.
No.
They just. Oh my god, that's actually retarded. Like, I think if you're going to put something in a state and it has the potential to increase taxes, I think there should be some sort of benefit that must be given alongside it to justify it, rather than just making me pay ludicrous amounts. Like, what is the role of the government if not to just take my fucking money? Like,
Yeah.
oh, fucking, I hate this one of these websites. It's one of
This
these-
is why if anybody's talking about putting an Amazon data center or something like that, like for like Amazon Web Service or anything in this nature, vote to fucking block it.
Yeah, because once it's in
Holy shit.
forever. Holy fuck, you're just fucked.
Yeah, and they're putting these AI data centers in for AI demand that hasn't even manifested. A lot of this is expected growth. The demand hasn't even been met yet, and there's a good high probability that it will never be met. Hence the bubble.
Yes, and not only that, like none of the components are made for these data centers. They're just pre-planning them right now, and the prices are already jumping by that much. Just imagine when they actually get all the infrastructure in, and then the expansions happen.
Yeah, it's just gonna
Because-
inflate.
Like
Like,
Nvidia hasn't even shifted over to full production of AI data centers yet.
ouch. Hopefully the bubble bursts before it's over. Holy fuck.
Yeah, because
Why? Palantir needs money.
Palantir needs money. What the fuck? Palantir?
Yes.
Did it seriously name itself after a Lord of the Rings thing?
Palantir is the global initiative to spy on literally everything.
Oh my god, they did name themselves after Lord of the Rings. Those fucking nerds. Palantir.
Palantir is like a fucking you know those companies, like those black ops companies that take over like nations.
Well, I guess we know the globalists are nerds after all at the end of the day.
But there you go. Palantir exists. Gamers Nexus really fucking hates them.
yeah,
Jesus
they did
Christ.
a long report on them, and yeah, what is Palantir? Well, as Artemis said, they advertise themselves as a big data analytics firm for government and defense.
Yep. And it's why
Intelligence.
Nvidia,
That intelligence. That's what I was trying to
and that's
think
why
of.
Nvidia is shifting over to government contract work. It's because them, the government, and Palantir are all getting together.
I'm
You're
just
welcome.
sad about that. You're welcome.
To be less sad, you have a donation from Molly.
Polly donates. Let me scroll up.
He donates $10 and says, "Have you guys seen Tim Sweeney's official statement on Steam's mandatory disclosure of use of generative AI? I thought it was funny slippery slope fallacy, but I wanted your thoughts as well."
We did talk about that briefly before. Can you read me the quote exactly, Juma?
From
So we don't paraphrase. Tim Sweeney.
Valve?
Yeah.
Or from Tim Sweeney. Okay, from Tim Sweeney. He says, "It makes no sense to have the label because AI will be involved in nearly all future production."
There
Don't
is
need to
more
notice
this
if
thread, but
everyone's
that's in
doing it.
TLDR.
Okay. Well, basically, so the issue here is that. Okay, so like let's operate under the assumption that AI becomes a toolbox thing, and artists can use it. We banned its use because we found upon study in our own case, and that was just a study conducted by our studio, that AI served no actual real benefit and ended up costing us more time and resources because when we made one picture and it was a background for models, which I can actually, we have it on the dev server somewhere, where it made like a background and it didn't look good, so Carlos had to paint over the top of it just to see if we could whip up backgrounds faster to promote the miniatures. But we ended up finding that it wasn't useful, and we ended up scrapping the whole thing because it was just trash. So the issue with that is that even if it becomes a toolbox thing and reaches a point where it becomes that, like it's not going to be the AI that Tim Sweeney's talking about, because Tim Sweeney is obviously using AI to offload as much work as possible from actual artists to cut down on development times and try to just slop out games faster. And all it does is create a incentivization for low effort, low quality, right? The games industry, the ones that are promoting this AI stuff, are the exact same people that want to increase the cost of development costs. You also have so many people, and I can't believe how many people on Twitter I see do this all the time, where it's like video game prices should go up. No, they shouldn't. They have had no reason to go up in fucking ages. You know where most of the money goes in these companies, in these AAA industries and AA's? It either goes to middle management. Like, great example of this. We know a lot of details about Dead Space because we did a big research on it. Dead Space, over half of the funding, half of the development costs of Dead Space 1 went into marketing, with questionable results, mind you, in terms of whether it actually helped at all. So the big thing is that you double production costs just from marketing alone, right? And so there are places you can slash this, but if you look at executives and how much money they take, not only do executives at these large corporations never reinvest back into the companies, almost 9 times out of fucking 10, they fucking take that money and they spread the investments across multiple other different things, rather than reinvesting back into the company itself. They never put money back in, they just take money out. And it's not just a little bit, they're taking like millions, right? Versus the artists on the ground floor making, maybe a couple $100,000 a year to make their, their yearly livings, right? And so when you look at like the costs of everything, it starts to really look like the only thing that's actually getting the benefit of these increased production costs is just going to be the upper management and executive and middle management people in marketing. It's not actually going back into the games. The games aren't receiving extra development time. They're not delaying the games and making use of those finances to be like, you know, try to lengthen it, because video games shouldn't be developed in 3 years' time. Most games, not all games, obviously, but most games should take longer to produce. And the reason why is because most games should be trying to be bigger. The bigger and longer the development time, if it's for a reason that makes sense, usually the better the product. You see this with indies a lot of time, where they want to take a decade plus, or like Project Zomboid, literally still in development. It has no competition on the market. Who the fuck is going to compete with them? They've had how much development time? Like, you're going to need to invest so much resources just to even get started. That's like a big thing. And so the more time and resources you invest into yourself, the more you'll get out of it. That's one of the issues here.
Kibs, I think you're forgetting something.
What?
This isn't entirely a problem made by publicly trading companies.
Yeah, it's investors.
Yes, and that's why. If it was a privately owned company, they wouldn't have to worry about constantly, becoming more and more profitable.
Yep, because investors want massive ass returns. And investors are the reason. That's why when investors approached me when I lost my job, because I had several people, dude, and they were very lucrative. But I knew better, because I've seen what happens. I had family in the industry. I know what happens. Like, what happens is you get investors, support investors, then you start losing control of your product and your project. Not only do you lose control of your project and product, they'll also start stipulating certain things to be profitable. Now, this can be good for certain things, right? A great example of where this could be possibly good is Star Citizen, right? This is a game I know a lot more about thanks to Master Morty. Special shout out to you, buddy, because he educated me a lot on what's happening with that game, because he's very passionate about it. And what happened with them, basically, and this is an abridged version, is basically the investors basically stepped in and were basically like, Chris Roberts, you have to basically like take a chill pill. You keep waffling around and going back and forth with every design and redesigning the game over and over again. We need to actually push a product out. We actually have to release something. We can't just keep fucking waffling around. Certain people need to have leashes, right? Creatives, people like me, people like Chris Roberts, people like Peter Molyneux, people like, Todd Howard. They need a creative leash. Because if they're to go too far and they add every little tiny thing that they could possibly think of, the game will go way overboard with design and feature creep. Because that has definitely happened to Star Citizen. It's an impressive game. I watched it be played. Very impressive. But seriously, it is one of those fucking things where it's just so goddamn bloated with feature creep. It's no wonder why it takes forever. Like, Bucky, did you know that they not only model the entire interior of the ships, right? But you have to physically drag boxes into storage inside your ship, and they take up physical space?
Wait, which game is this?
Star Citizen.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta...
Star Citizen is fucking
feature creep.
horrendous.
Feature creep. So, like, this kind of feature creep stuff is very dangerous. Because if you keep doing that, well, that is cool. The more stuff you do, the more you're gonna have to, like, now that you added that feature, right? Okay, where every individual ship has a cargo bay and a limited amount of space, and there's a mechanic for dragging boxes into the ship. Now every single ship has to have this factor applied to it. So you take that amount of workload, you then multiply it by the times number of how many ships you've made, and then anytime you introduce a new feature to a ship like that mechanically, you then take all the ships you've created, you introduce a multiplier. How many times that ship must that be re-implemented for all those ships? And so what you do is you just keep inflating the development time for the game and the mechanics for each ship, because each ship has to be redone, re-overhauled, checked to see how it works and all that. Yeah, Master Morty says, laugh my ass off, and the engineering isn't even in yet. Yeah, you showed me, he gave me a tour of this massive ship he owns in that game, and it's beautiful. It's very well modeled and very detailed. I was very impressed. But, like, there are huge sections of a ship where you're supposed to be able to do maintenance stuff, and there's nothing there. It's empty. And every single ship is going to have that as a mechanic. Every single ship has to have that. So anytime they introduce new mechanics or new ships, they add a multiplier to how many ships need to be overhauled with that mechanic. The workload that it must look like on the back end of that must be genuinely horrifying. Genuinely horrifying. Can you imagine, Bucky? Oh my god. You implement one mechanic, now you have to multiply that. This is why you do the mechanical stage first, right? So most games, and not all, our game does this. We design the mechanics beforehand. And then when we're done with the mechanics and the features and systems and how those systems work, then we can start adding more stuff. If you noticed our game doesn't have that much art to it because we're not working on the art for it. Because any art we do will be multiplied by how much we do. If we have a damage state for a character where they're wounded, then you have to multiply that by how many units are in the game, right? How many monsters, how many creatures can be wounded and damaged and killed? They must all now receive damage states. It's like, oh, you're talking about like $10,000 budget for an animation of like a character, going from $10,000 budget for like one, or not 10,000. It's more like $2,000 per character, right? Is how much it is, I think, for a character in our game. That's expensive, right?
So you're saying
You
all
add-
I do is pay $2,000 to get a character in your game?
No, not saying that. But like that's just like the animations. Like then you add like another 4,000 because you've added like, okay, damage states and like blood squirts and splatters and statters, and then you add like a lot more because everything needs to be reworked now to have that. And then now you take that and you have to take 10 characters, and now each individual character now costs $10,000. You have 10 characters. You've now gone up to like $100,000 in costs for all those characters. See how quickly that inflates? Like if you add like one thing, because each feature you add to an animation adds that much more animation work to all other characters, because if none of the other characters get it, there needs to be a good reason. Like maybe they're not talking like sprites. Maybe they don't talk, maybe they just fight, they're monsters. Okay, then you can reduce that cost there. But like if you add damage states, or you add certain death states, or unique, God forbid. We had this lofty notion that we'd have unique like fighting animations per character. That was dropped pretty quickly because we saw the budget go from, I think, like a couple $1,000s per character to I think $100,000 estimated per character. It's like, nope, that's too expensive. That's insane how expensive that inflates, chat. Oh my god, genuinely.
Don't worry, Star Citizen has an infinite amount of money whenever they're charging 40 grand for a fucking
3D model. That's
no,
what it
for
is.
A ship pack.
Oh, because people will just buy it.
Yes.
And
I think it was the Legatus thing where they had like a bunch of ships.
I will. I looked at Star Citizen because I saw Morty stream of it, and I'm genuinely impressed by this game. It's beautiful, like all things. I can see why people invest money into it. It's got a lot of detail and a lot of soul, but it needs to start setting up like stricter like things. Like just don't focus, because they're like doing several different main systems while not finishing one. It'd be like telling Robin to fucking Robin. By the way, I know you're not done with the spells, but like let's start working on the warfare mechanics. Like, okay, and then while we're working on the warfare mechanics, let's also add the quest log to that list, and let's also add a UI overhaul. And so now all those things have to be produced at the same time at the pace of a snail, versus one system can be focused on and finished in relative quick time. And tested.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. Say I'm gonna make a spaceship game, and then I go crowdfund for that.
Yep.
I start making the spaceship game, and I go, hey everybody. You know what? I'm going to crowdfund to add this component into the game. Let's call it Ablative Armor Pack. And we'll crowdfund for that. And then we crowdfund for that. And as we're making the Ablative Armor Pack without finishing the first part that we initially started on, we crowdfund for another thing. And this is how all these little different components keep getting added into Star Citizen.
Oh my god. We discussed this way a while ago on our plans for Kickstarter and how we intend to do it for our studio. And Kickstarter, when we did the research, this was what, 5 years ago or something like that? It was a while ago. It was 2020. It's like, we're not going to do Kickstarter until everything in the game is done, and we're only going to do it for like getting an orchestra, like to do some music for the game, so we can actually get orchestral music properly and recorded, and maybe we'll do it for like voice acting, and like no features. And the reason why is because you want to use Kickstarter to promote your product, right? But you do not want to do Kickstarter any other way, because anytime you add different stretch goals, like, oh, we're gonna have like miniatures and we're gonna have boxes and we're gonna have to ship them to people, you basically now added something that you may not have calculated for or thought about how much resources is gonna take to do that. Anytime a game's like, oh yeah, you get like a goodie bag and all these little things, okay, well now companies got to print those minis, And not only you got to get a company to print those minis, you need those minis designed. You also need to find somebody who can do the bags. You need to find somebody who can store this stuff. Then you need to find out who's going to handle the shipping. And it adds so much logistical hell work to the what was supposed to be a video game that when you actually look at it, how much nightmares Kickstarters add on top because of all these like silly stretch goals, rather than being like, no, the game is going to have all these features. We're not going to set Kickstarter goals to fund basic fucking mechanics to the game. It'd be like setting up for our game. It'd be like, okay, chat, if you don't fund the Kickstarter to the correct goal in time, we're cutting out a third of the game. Just chop it off and then throw it in the dumpster. All right. You know, or worse, you guys have funded all the features in our game that were supposed to be in the game to begin with. Now we're going to start adding random stretch goals for little things that are just going to cost more development time and distract resources, rather than putting those resources directly to where they need to be. Because you can never plan for how much something's going to go wrong. Our renderer, was it renderer or was it the compiler? One of those things. One of those things caused a hiccup, which basically took like almost a quarter of a year to fix. Because it was unforeseen. You just can't predict everything. And so instead of having resources and money and finances allocated in a reserve, so when one mechanic is like a tricky to implement, or like our custom shader or stuff like that, then you can be, okay, we now have a extra workload. Go ahead and fix the shader and renderer. Now it's like, okay, well, we don't have the money to fix that and do that, so we're gonna half fix that and then half implement the other thing. And so when a game comes out, it's all buggy and sad look.
I unironically respect No Man's Sky more than I respect Star Citizen.
With No Man's Sky, he promised the world and delivered an empty shell. But with No Man's Sky, he didn't abandon it.
And he delivered everything he said he was going to do. It's just, it's all for free. So he hasn't charged anything.
He didn't
more.
charge it, yeah. Because, I mean, the game made so much money, even as a flop, he could have just waddled away with the money. But instead, he reinvested. And this is what I mean when it's good to see a company reinvest its money back in. I'm still not a super big fan of No Man's Sky, but I seriously respect the fact that they didn't just walk. Because he had every ability to just walk away as rich as he was. But he didn't. He kept chiseling away and has been repairing his reputation. I still think No Man's Sky, personally, isn't a very good game. Fundamentally, I just think it's got a rocky foundation. But I'm eager to see what he produces next, because maybe he learned from his lessons. The fact that he didn't give up is respectable. Not only did he not give up, he kept chiseling away on it. And even if it's still flawed and I don't like it, I'm still interested to see where he's going to go.
Yeah, and like I said, I respect No Man's Sky more than I respect Star Citizen. I didn't say that Star Citizen was a worse game than No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. I
just
mean, I
respect
think
it
the
more
space
because-
combat looks really good in Star Citizen, at least what I saw. But I think that the issue I have is I don't respect the fact that they've been waffling around. Because it looks, honestly, if they just focused on the mechanics they had right now and then just produced a game, it'd be probably a pretty fun space shooter. But they're not. They just keep adding
Those
things.
Lambos are not going to buy themselves, Kibs.
Damn. I don't
The
like
worst part is they didn't even, as far as I'm aware, did they even use the money to buy a $500 million yacht?
No,
don't
I know
think
what you're
they
referring
did.
to.
Are you referencing Gabe?
I am referencing Gabe.
Gabe and his... I don't... What is it with... Like, chat, if I become rich, am I just going to randomly want a yacht and then invest in underwater research? James Cameron did that. Like, I guess underwater research is like the discount space exploration option. I guess. Because that's the only thing I can think of.
I think it's smart because Gabe is going to be hunted down by literally all of games industry at a certain point because he keeps pissing them off.
He's on the sea on his own boat, basically a
Mhm.
fortress.
Yep.
He just creates the
Bioshock.
Bioshock. Yeah.
Rapture.
Welcome to Gabe's Rapture. Here you can play the Gabe.
Welcome
cube.
to Gabe City.
Gabe. And the
needs
big
a high
statue's
potential
just
weight.
Gabe's face with a beard looking down at you.
Sitting down.
Look at- Oh my god, somebody
Here's your
go and...
complimentary gravity gun.
You descend into the madness that is Gabe City.
Hold on.
Gabe's-
Mamu says best part with Chris Roberts. He complained about devs buying yachts and then he went and bought one.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Am I gonna do that if I ever get big? Is that gonna happen to me?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think so.
They will.
Oh my god. Will I just lose who I am? Is that what
Commissar Zar
happens?
Says only Elon is rich enough to go to space. Also, Commissar Zar, Lycan apparently has been trying to contact you. You need to check your DMs.
Yes, Commissar, check your DMs now or your entire family will be burned
Do
into
it
a fish
now.
sandwich. Fish sandwich time.
Grapture.
Grapture. I don't like that. It sounds like grape. Sounds like
Kids, what you don't understand is that having a $50 million yacht is the fuck you money you always dreamed about.
See, I just want to, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm retarded and I don't understand.
Yes.
Okay, better than I am. Because, like, my inception of, like, when I think about, like, if I had infinite money, I would just make my game even better. And I would probably, like, yeah, we're going to, like, make books, movies, and we're just going to keep making, like, more stuff and just make more stuff. And I just imagine being kind of, like, poor forever. Like, that's what...
No, Kib, you will probably buy a bucket fish shaped sub, says Death 6327.
I think I could finally buy that aquarium. Like, the one thing I would buy would be that aquarium. And then I'd have it stream 24/7. I'd be like, look at me take care of fish. And Jeff is like, they're all dead. I'd be like, damn, we tried.
See, but then you'd forget the cameras on and then we get face reveals of Kib.
Well, stream Prime on YouTube. Also, as a reminder, chat, don't forget to drop a like if you like the stream so far. If not, you don't have to, but I'll just cry about it later. Just like, all right. God damn, the GameCube.
So Fuzzy also posted another thing about Tim Sweeney.
Oh, should
Yeah,
have grabbed
And
that.
there's
The
2
target.
donations now from Polly.
Read those donuts first before we continue.
So Polly, a little bit ago, donated $5 and says generative AI really only exists to screw over the commoners, pay taxes to pay corpo bonuses. Hashtag culinary horrors, hashtag Samsung, and corpos.
Mm-hmm.
And then he donates another $5 for Gabinopolis.
Ganopolis.
Gan- with its
Gabinopolis,
own
there you go.
unique flavor of transhumanism horror. Yes. Absolutely.
Death6227 has been around for 19 months. It says, another free month was gifted to me. The longest time I have been gray is a day. Damn. That's insane. The
We'll
genuine.
never have a bounty on you.
Damn, Rasmus destroyed my channel. He disliked, unsubbed, and charged back. Gives not poor. Then Bucky says, Death6227 is gay. He probably is, considering what he writes sometimes.
I just want to let you know I reserved my thing just to do that.
He's been waiting for the right moment.
Pero Mewtwo's like, wait, what are we doing? And how did I get here? I don't know. I have no idea how you got here. This is the
Welcome,
Bunchcast. We're talking about games industry stuff.
Yes, there's some good information in here coming up. Everything before this was not very practical, but this is going to be interesting.
But the NVIDIA thing? NVIDIA
So-
reportedly no longer... What? Go ahead. What do you want? What do you want from me?
As I say, before we move to next topic, there was the thing Fuzzy posted about Tim Sweeney to fully close the whole AI thing
Oh, I'm going to kill you. All right,
in
fine.
Steam.
Yeah.
I'm fuzzy. Me. This is
Sorry
me.
to get off topic again.
Go ahead. Fuzzy.
And this
Ugh.
is just another part of Tim Sweeney putting his foot in his mouth, and yeah, I'll read it. Not true. Oops, scroll up a little bit. That's because that's a reply.
I can't.
Oh
He's
my
not logged
god.
in.
X.
Oh, fuck. Hold on. I'll log in.
Okay.
I forgot that X doesn't do that.
Referred gets a membership, but it's broke.
Wonderful.
There we go. Switching back. We're back in business.
Rifford gives me a choice on a membership that hasn't gone through.
Hope no one broke this. Artemis. It's busted for sure.
I don't think we're gonna count that.
No,
Oh,
I'll
we'll count it. We
Referred
know he's good for it.
Okay. Candy.
Damn.
Sour.
Candy's bad for you.
He only has 30 to go.
Oh my god, Fuzzy's in. Fuzzy, why are you responding
Oh,
to Tim
that's
Sweeney? I don't think he cares. Fuzzy.
I don't care.
I don't
I just felt like it.
Will
I
you
don't care.
just
hold on,
wanted
no,
to
no, no,
show-
Fuzzy, don't defend yourself. I get to read what you wrote. Will you stop encouraging developers to use gender-neutral language and coding and focus on developing your currently terrible engine? Question mark. Wow, Fuzzy, mean. Sounds much better than going after Steam all the time, along with actually developing the Epic Game Store. Fuzzy, stop. That's hurtful. You need to apologize.
Hold on, Fuzzy. Hold on. That's untrue. They just recently added a shopping cart and the ability to gift people things.
Holy crap. See, Fuzzy? It only took him
How many
years?
I'm not
Half
kidding.
genuine.
That is actually a new thing that you can now gift people
Hold
games.
on. Hey, Kibs, click on Fudgy's thing.
Fuzzy's thing? Why, somebody responded to it?
Huh?
Fuck!
Hold on, I gotta like that comment.
Somebody just called me gay, and it's not even related. This is so random. Who could have done that?
There you go, Artemis.
Oh, we gotta get a heart too? Fuck.
Actually, I feel like that comment's gonna ratio yours, Fuzzy.
Yeah. It's a ratio, Fuzzy. Wouldn't like the comment me being gay.
Primal says, you know what? Maybe I will stick around for now.
Careful.
But
We might stick to you. It's like,
Comment.
uh-oh.
Not true. I just hate to see Valve confiscate even more opportunity from small developers. I'm trying not to cringe there. By facilitating new category cancel campaigns and review bombing, Steam used to just facilitate downloads. They then foreclosed on payments. Foreclosed? Am I reading that right? Yeah, he did use that.
Yep,
Foreclosed on payments, then price competition, then crypto, now AI. I guess let's just take this apart one at a time. First of all, going after small developers. This is just a label. The paying customer wants this information, they get this information. This is not rocket science, but Tim Sweeney has an agenda, so can't overthink. I shouldn't overthink it too much. Cancel campaigns? Sweeney, come on. And review bombings? Does Epic Game Store have reviews yet?
Last I
think so.
checked, it didn't.
You know what? I'll open it up. I'll start
Yeah,
up the
you
Epic
check.
Store and let you know.
So the big
Yeah.
thing about this is, again, so as an actual indie dev, like, yeah, Steam does take 30% cut. However, the Steam platform offers a huge boost, and the Steam platform is also working on ways to try to encourage indie exposure. They still haven't found a perfect solution to it, but they are trying. They're actively working towards that. Not only do you get access to that, but you also get access to the Steam forum system, so you can use their dedicated forums. You don't have to have your website have forums on it. You also get access to the Steam network stuff, so you can host online games. You also get access to the Steam Workshop, which allows modders to congregate in a community around your game, which allows to centralize a lot. Steam basically, as a developer, offers me a tool which I can not only sell my game, but also get access to dedicated forums, get access to tools and stuff like that. And yeah, it can technically find out if review bombs are happening, and you can mark them as unrelated to the subject if that happens. There are tools in place to fight review bombing. And honestly, review bombing, and that's when it's illegitimate and it's off topic. That'd be like, let's say Robin says something spicy on Twitter. Again, he does it all the time. And it's like, okay, then I can literally combat that kind of unrelated discourse. But at the same time, it's one of those things you have to ask yourself, what do you offer? You don't have anything. He's lambasting these things that Steam has, and Steam has all these things and a lot more. What do you have? Okay, so I haven't even finished. Not only the Steam forum discussion, by the way, there's Steam guides where users can create playthrough guides for games. So if you need help getting through a game, the user community can generate guides for it. It's also got the community tab for people to generate user-based content and show off fan art and pictures of their favorite moments and clips of their favorite sections of the game and communicate with each other. And these sections are actually used quite a bit. Some of them are pretty funny. You can check out the Morrowind one every once in a while, and there's some funny posts on it, half the time, and memes. Like, it's a way for people to congregate and share their appreciation for a game and talk to each other outside of you just buying a game in isolation. Steam is a hub and also a social network. It's not the best social network, but people can share user experiences with each other, player experiences. Oh my god, I'm using game journal terminology. Ah!
Well, users.
Quick,
Um,
punish Kibs.
So I've looked
for it.
because apparently I uninstalled Epic Game Store. So I'm looking on the web browser version, and there's nothing here about reviews. There is a shopping cart button now, though.
So reviews help me know, because you can read the reviews, right? And you also determine for yourself. There's a game we're going to cover in a second here. That actually, you know what, it's a pretty good segue. Because I think, honestly, when it comes to the Tim Sweeney's Epic Store thing, the big reality is that the Epic Store sadly can't compete with Steam. And I wish it could. But the only way they've been able to compete was by doing exclusive deals with games for limited times. To basically try to drive people over there for their favorite games.
No. You're mistaking that, Kibs. You phrased that too politely. They took games that were already going to release on Steam, paid them a shit ton of money to become
not.
exclusivity.
Yeah.
Even through, when these things are crowdsourced to go on Steam,
True.
drug them over to Epic, and then shut them out of Steam for a period of time.
Basically torpedoing these games too, yeah. Like, the only beneficial thing I can say is that there are 2 games we know of that never would have been funded if Epic didn't get involved. And it wasn't that Epic had the, they made these games, it's that they just used their money to get started.
Stardock.
Yep, Stardock, Sins of Empire 2, because they couldn't get the resources and finances to produce it, because it was too ambitious. They used that to get Epic's money, so they didn't lie to anybody. That's just how they made it. And there was one other company. And that's of these hundreds of companies that have been basically duped into it, because I want to point out that MechWarrior 5 was promised for Steam, and there was a huge drama around it. I was there during it, where basically it was supposed to come out for fucking Steam, and they just stealth changed their webpage, and some users had noticed in the Discord server that they had done this, and basically commented on it, and then it exposed it to everybody. And everybody started freaking out at them, and they had to basically do damage control. And it wasn't just MechWarrior 5 that did this either. There were various other games that also were promised to come out on Steam, but were then given lots of money on a backroom deal, a shady backroom deal, and they were then pulled off Steam. And they did this, and all these companies, with basically Epic coaching them, basically tried to keep this a secret so that the people wouldn't know about it, because they tried to keep MechWarrior 5 a secret so that we couldn't refund our money and get our money back. So that we would only have like a day to do it, because it would be a holiday the other day or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But they basically tried to keep it a secret for as long as possible, so that the window for us to get our money back was so small that only the people that were on the point would actually get their money back. That would had like a week or 2 weeks to do it, to shorten the time frame as much as possible from the month that we had basically known about it in advance. That's one of those things where it's so scummy, it's so scandalous, it's so disgusting and greedy that it's genuinely a shocker. And it's one of those things that's happened many times when Epic's involved. Epic is pretty terrible. Epic cannot be trusted. They are a bad company.
Yeah, and you touch upon one important point. Last one I have on the Epic Game Store. This is when Sweeney says this is for the small to AA developers. No, except for those few examples that we've discussed. Most of the games that take the Epic deal go into a marketing graveyard where they release on Steam a year later, I believe is the standard for the time exclusivity, and most people just forget about them. They just crater. The long-term trail and profitability tanks, and most of that money of the better profit split that Epic likes to advertise, most of it doesn't go back into the game. Most developers just pocketed it. Does a paying customer see any benefit into the game? No, not really, no.
Ugh, it's just gross. I don't like it. It makes me angry. So speaking of reviews, because this is a good segue, the new expansion for Bannerlord 2 just dropped. It's the War Sales expansion, and it's not being received particularly well, but it's not like a massive thing. It's just not doing well. And there's a lot of reasons. I hope that review is still there because there's one guy that went into great detail. Yes, this is the right one. All right. So I grabbed one of the reviews at the top because it's resonating with a lot of people because it sort of echoes a lot of people's overall sentiments about the DLC and to why a lot of people aren't getting it, and those that are getting it are actually kind of angry. So we're gonna read. I'm not sure we're gonna read the entire thing, but we're gonna read a part of it. So here we go. This review is by Lysimachus. Oh, I can't really read his name properly. Oh well. And so it was posted on November 27th, which was a couple days ago when the DLC launched. So it starts with, now I do love this game and will play a ton of this DLC, and my brother-in-law got this for me as a present. So not saying that I don't like this as present, and I still preferred getting this as this is a game we share and enjoy playing alongside together. Now my review. This DLC is a ripoff, and I will never buy anything from this company unless it is a present. To begin with, they sterilized a lot of the map. If you read their dev diaries, with them saying that they had to completely redesign parts of the map to make river ports and bridges more optimal, you think that would mean that they added more rivers. You would be wrong. They shortened or completely got rid of most rivers in the game. This completely changes the feel and allure of the map, and it is much harder to be immersed, especially because these rivers were vital to other parts of my campaigns. So basically he's lamenting the fact that they changed the map massively and they were very dishonest with how they approached the map. This made people very angry, and I saw this in other reviews as well echoed, because it changes the overall feel, because these rivers played very strategic roles in basically being able to attack certain areas and move areas, and the developers didn't really tell them that they were going to do this. For all intents and purposes, people thought there were going to be more rivers, and people actually liked the rivers. Why that's important is because the rivers engage with the new naval mechanics that were added to the game. So he goes on to continue. Several rivers and lakes have been completely inaccessible, such as the massive crater lake in the Battanians, which is ridiculous as the whole country of the Battanians is centered around the 5 cities that surround that lake. Yet they don't make a single one a port city. Their culture is also centered around water and lakes, making it equally crazy. You also can't access the massive river that connects to the Darshi Sea that goes up into the Kuzites, nor the massive lake called Ophiths, plus river system in the Northern Empire. And I just saw this. You can't even access the river that leads to Epicrotia. Oh, the name pronunciations are hard for me. That was my main city in countless campaigns, and you don't even make it a port, though it is right there. There really are only 3 port river cities, too, with 2 being in the Western Empire and 1 in the Azerai. So what that basically means is that they implemented this new expansion, and it's very lazy. So let's talk really briefly as to why that's lazy. Cities that are along coasts in this period in time, if they have access to a river or even Great Lakes, for example, like the, Black Sea or literally the Great Lakes or literally any other large body of water, usually those towns and villages and cities had ports along the coastline. They were incredibly important for trade and commerce in the inland. Yes, they weren't part of the ocean, but they did play massive roles. And this shows a level of laziness with this DLC because they charge a lot of money for this. Here, let's see if I can highlight this to remember where I was and then come back to it. Because how much do they charge? Yeah, they charge $22.49, 10% discount. But it's going to be sold for $25 when it's off its discount. And so people are feeling kind of robbed here because a lot of people, and bear in mind, another thing we need to talk about is that there were supposed to be a lot of updates for Bannerlords 2 at this point. The War Sales stuff was one tiny expansion. And that the roadmap of promised things of overhauling like the starts, overhauling the politics system, overhauling like how kingdoms work and stuff like that. And while people enjoy the game, the developers, Tailworlds, I believe is their name, the Turkish studio, because they received government funding, a lot of people theorize that they're being incredibly lazy, that they pocketed a lot of the money, that they aren't actually like competent, they don't know what they're doing. And this DLC should have been out like ages ago, so people are really annoyed that not only did it come out now and it's $25, but it also is $25 and it felt like it should have been a patch. A lot of people kind of feel like this shouldn't have been a charged DLC. Hold on a second.
There.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
There is a point to that, Kibs, to the government subsidies. It's just basic economics 101. When the company is not beholden to the paying customer and their money just comes from the government, well, where's the incentives? It's like for this whole exchange to work, what are the incentives? The incentives should be pleasing the paying customer. They already got their profits from government subsidies. What incentive is there to just satisfy the paying customer? That's just extra profits, regardless if you piss them off or not. Just to throw that theory out there.
Hmm? No, I get you. In fact, I very much agree, like with the overall sentiment and everything else. Because the big thing is here that they've fundamentally changed the game without being honest with the player base for the game, and they basically misled the players into believing that they were going to overhaul and add more stuff to the rivers and more stuff to engage with, when there are fewer things to engage with the rivers now. And there's also large sections of these rivers and stuff that aren't even interactable, and inland lakes that didn't actually make use of this new expansion. Fuzzy, you look quiet? I'll turn them up. You did get a new microphone, so you have to figure out a perfect balance for that. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, like that's one of those things when it comes to that. So like there's so much wrong with that. It just shows a general disconnect with the players. God fucking damn it. And like it also shows that the DLC is not very finished. Like it just didn't really add anything, and they changed stuff without really understanding things. It shows a lack of confidence in what they're actually doing. And for people who actually are super big fan of this game, they're really annoyed because they're very frustrated because their favorite game has just been reworked in such a way that it fucks up everything they really enjoyed about the game. And the changes that were made didn't really add hardly anything when they actually look at it. Like, he goes on to other details as well. They also got rid of several lakes, including the huge lake and moat around OC's Hall, and the lake/river system that separates the Azerai from the Southern Empire near Danustica. Because of this, they moved Danustica to the coast instead of its central position between the Azerai and the Khuzaits. A ton of estuaries and river branches have been erased, which fundamentally changes the gameplay of that entire region. So only the main river is visible. Also, they got rid of several islands, including 2 massive ones in the Southern Sea. Like, what? I planned for those islands to be my base of operations since I first heard of the DLC, and I'm infinitely disappointed by this decision. Again, a bunch of changes to the map that were poorly communicated with the players, and just a breakdown in communication. Because you can see that this guy's points are resonating with pretty much everybody else. Yeah, there's other things here too. So he says, if we scroll down further, he talks about other things. I don't know if they changed this beforehand, but the look of and names of your brothers and sister is now dependent on what culture you pick in the beginning. Yet they still don't make your spawn dependent on your culture, which is a massive complaint for this game. And it's what, for those who haven't played this game, basically, when you choose your culture and your starting point, or sorry, when you choose your culture, it should affect your starting point, right? What culture you're from, what's your background for your character. Yet your starting point has been the same. This is something, by the way, the developers promised would be overhauled many, many years ago, before the launch of the game even. And they never did. Because Tale Worlds basically launched Bannerlord 2 unfinished, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't... Hold on. Oh my god. That's not even their own music. That's literally fucking, I believe, 2 Steps from Hell, which is a music group that made trailer music in the 2000s. Like...
I do like some of their music.
Yes, and it's not bad. It's just one of those things where it's like, this company had government-backed funding and a ton of sales from the player base as well, and they still didn't have like their own proper composer for their own like proprietary promotional material. Like, it's just like
they don't care.
And not only that, but they haven't
like...
fixed like the start location problem with the game. The War Sales thing turned out to be an expansion, a paid one, and it also turns out that it's actually not as expansive as people wanted it to. Now, one thing I did hear is that people enjoy War Sales. They think it's fun, and I'll let the trailer speak for itself a little bit. Wait, is that just... Is it going to actually show off the gameplay? No, not really. This is going to kind of show off the gameplay. It basically adds naval combat to the game, which allows you to fight ship to ships, and you can actually control ships. It's a really cool thing. It helps expand the gameplay, and so that the naval aspect is going to add a whole layer of extra depth, right? You got siege battles, you got field battles, you got now naval battles, and that's just really cool. And so people are very disheartened because they were expecting a lot more here, and they kind of didn't deliver on it. And so it really basically made people quite, mad, and I think rightfully so. Because Tale Worlds has basically gotten so much money now that they literally could have made like a third Bannerlords game, and they still quite haven't fixed it. Commissar says the main campaign, you always start in the Empire. On the sandbox, it's the capital of your culture. Okay, that's good. But they still haven't overhauled the actual campaign proper then. Genghis Kek $22 says Kibs needs a Yinglet GF, in my honest opinion. No. Cash Clams has a fudgy choice. A GF would be nice, but a clam-based GF, I think I can live without. Genghis donates $2 and says, would Kibs play a succubus game by Madmind? #clams. If Chatfish fund it, but I assume it's going to be a not streamed game, if that makes sense.
Then there's one more thing you missed. Should be
I
right
think
above Genghis.
Little Genghis, let's see. It was Gregor's has been a member for 25 months. Kibs, when you become highly successful, can you pocket some of your profits? The pocket fish would definitely appreciate it. There's in the pocket like, we have no money.
Gibbs.
And Genghis donates $2 like Kibs owes a bunch of Ying speak. Not in my eyes. He's like, what? Besides, we don't have to worry about that right now anyways. Thank you for the donation. Very generous. Why don't they have any competition? There aren't many games like this. Why don't they have many competition? Because this game is rather ambitious. So remember what I talk about, and we've talked about this before, a game that has multiple games inside of it, right? This game makes use of the base game's combat system. The base game's combat system consists of you commanding dudes around and running around, stabbing, shooting, and riding your little horsey around, right? Then the secondary metagame to that is basically the overworld, where you have persistent progress, you buy and trade items, you talk to characters, you perform quests, you capture territories, and it's got diplomacy and stuff like that. That's 2 games in one. The naval combat essentially adds a third game system on top of this, allowing for naval battles, and I'm not sure if it allows for combined arms battles, if they have that as a thing here. I do know that it adds rivers, and I think rivers and port sieges. So again, it adds a lot of mechanical stuff, but it doesn't seem like the actual world itself is making good use of this. This is not a good sign. I do think this DLC will probably be worth it in the long run, not maybe initially, because modders will make extensive use of this. I know that the Rome and the Japanese mod have already been preparing for that. There's a Japan overhaul mod that turns it into Japan. There's a Rome mod that turns it into antiquity Rome. There's a feudal mod. There's a Warhammer Fantasy mod, and there was something else I already forgot. There's a bunch of others. They basically they want to do stuff with the naval system and basically expand it and have their own shtick for it. So yeah, a lot of things are going to benefit from it, but it's one of those things where it's only going to be time can tell. Thank you for the donation, Genghis. He says, why no you ain't speak? Because we're not doing that right now. Thank you for the donation. You little chubby little gangoid. You're going to beat you up. He's like, no. All right, let's see. Let's see, did they show anything in here? They show ships landing, but it's a cinematic. That doesn't actually show us any gameplay. Do we see ships being used for anything else? It introduces a new faction, which are Nords, I guess. I don't really see anything in here. Not from any of
Heart-shaped shields.
Not for any of these particularly screen grabs here. But yeah, changing the map like that and not making that transparent and making such radical changes to an established game that's technically not in early access, meaning that this game shouldn't be receiving negative changes from an expansion, right? So that means people who bought War Sales or didn't buy War Sales will now receive none of the benefits of the new naval systems, but their campaigns have actually been irreversibly changed now. That is not particularly good. That is bad. The Shokuhao mod is 10 out of 10. Yeah, I tried it. It was actually pretty good. It literally just recreates feudal Japan, which is really interesting. And I think, again, I don't think, Bucky, you know too much about Japanese naval warfare, do you?
I only know of the the World War One and Two, and then pre-World War One.
Okay.
The Russo-Japanese War.
So you
Hold
might
on,
find
said
this.
World War Three.
Wait, what? Are you skipping ahead?
What? I didn't say anything. I said World War One and Two, and then the Russo-Japanese War.
Yeah.
But there's also the Sino-Japanese War as well, but I don't really count that one.
Yeah, because they don't really have a name. But the thing is, so Japanese feudal naval warfare is rather interesting because their boats are basically like floating houses and castles, and that's what makes it so interesting. Their boats are like, oh, it's weird. It's weird. They are just castles. They're like multi-story buildings that are on like little rafts, and they float around and they fight each other on them. So seeing this naval mod added for Japanese naval warfare will be funny because you'll be floating your little naval castle trying to light somebody else's naval castle on fire while also trying to board the little castle. And then you have to fight through each deck. Which again, it adds a lot of like versatility and uniqueness. Not a lot of stuff actually explored in naval warfare of Japan. It's very, very weird and very stupid. It's cool, but it's retarded. It's like literally little floating houses, multi-story houses, like trying to attack each other, not tip over. Barges with 3-story homes made of paper on top. Yeah, pretty much.
You know how the Koreans completely devastated the Japanese naval forces?
Oh, how's that? I mean, I know, but I'm asking. For
So
the
the Korean or the Japanese, despite being an island nation, have pretty much always had, at least in feudal times, had complete dog shit navies.
Mhm.
Because like their ships are basically just big boxes and rectangles, and the whole entire point is they board and try to kill you in melee. So the Koreans designed their turtle ships, which just have an iron plating with spikes on the top, so they can't be boarded by the Japanese ships, and they just decimated their navy.
The Japanese
They just like have like a cannon or something underneath that would just shoot, or like even spikes. They just float up, poke a hole. They can't board it because it's just covered in spikes, and they just couldn't do anything against it.
just looked at it and died.
Pretty much.
That's funny. And then everyone gets demolished by a Portuguese black ship. That's true. Portuguese black ships would be super cool in the Japanese naval mod because they'd be terrifying. Because they were terrifying to the Japanese. It's this giant towering ship bristling with cannons. And they don't really have cannons on their boats. So, like, you can imagine their fear and terror. As the thing can literally blow them to pieces and sink them before they can even get close to it. The turtle ships? Yes, the turtle ships. There's a lot of those with like the spikes everywhere bristling. And if
that was specifically to counter Japanese.
Because they would leap on top of the ship and then try to attack that way, yeah.
And they can't if the top is just an iron plate covered in spikes.
True. All right, so Genghis donates $2 and says, "What would it take to bring back Yingspeak? Change in the times." Genghis Cat donates $2 and says, "This model has a big booba, a good booba. Hey go, clamps. Thank you for the nation, very generous. I appreciate it." Now, next up, Chatfishes, we have
Fun stuff.
NVIDIA. I wouldn't say that. NVIDIA reportedly no longer supplying VRAM to its GPUs boards. Partners in response to memory crunch. Rumors claim vendors will only get the die forced to source memory on their own.
Yes. So by vendors, they mean like Asus, Sapphire, like anybody who is in the use aftermarket parts to change, like GeForce or ASRock. All these people are now being told there's no VRAM on their populated on their fucking GPUs anymore. That they're gonna have to go get them themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's going to
report-
raise prices. Oh,
You two are fucking terrible at timing.
What do you mean?
Yes, you guys waited for each other to figure out who was gonna talk, and then you both talked at the same fucking.
He talked? I didn't even hear him. Buzzy! I did an inhale because I was breathing because I have to get oxygen in my lungs. But yeah, before Fuzzy interrupts me, little bigot, the big thing is that Nvidia's prices are going to, or not Nvidia, but just prices are going to skyrocket. This kind of echoes to what Bucky's been saying for a while, and the RAM has already been skyrocketing, and things are not going to get cheaper. So your window to get new parts and components, if you weren't going to get them now, or you were kind of hesitant before, you shouldn't get them anymore. You should just wait.
No, that's not going to help. So RAM that cost $200 3 months ago now costs over a grand now. By the way, chat, you should have taken the
don't get it now.
buy RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have taken time to buy RAM when we warned you a little while ago.
So no RAM upgrades for you. No RAM.
Yep. And now Nvidia is going to be leaving the GPU market basically for gaming enthusiasts. Fuzzy, jump in now.
Yeah, as always, after the annoyance of the crypto crowd, crypto mining, now it's OpenAI's turn and all these AI data centers' turn to wreck the market for gaming enthusiasts, which hopefully leaves AMD a huge opportunity to just sweep in and take all of that, as people have been clamoring for a solution to all of Nvidia's nonsense for a very long time now, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. There are a lot of parties that are very keen on making it as hard as possible, well, even not intentionally, unintentionally, let's face it. They're focused on the AI hype. On making it as hard as possible for us to get parts at a decent price. Manufacturing's not going to get any better, and it's just going to lead to more frustration, as the people that helped to build NVIDIA, the gaming enthusiasts, are, unfortunately, we're now just swept to the wind. They don't really care about us right now, and are not going to in a foreseeable future. This is not going to get any better, as we have a lot of parties that are going to try and pump as much money into this as possible, as we talked on previous bunchcasts, to make this AI bubble last as long as possible, and it's going to be ugly when it bursts. I'd rather sooner than later to fix all this, but until then, this is what we have to deal with.
Yeah, and also some people are saying, "Oh, well, prices will, go down eventually. The supply just has to catch up," says Archon. Well, that's a problem. If you look at what I linked just now.
Another link. Oh, open it.
Yeah.
NVIDIA hit with DOJ antitrust probe over AI GPUs, unfair sales tactics, and pricing alleged.
Yeah. So the answer is, that's not going to happen. After the big price increases from the 2020, market downturn, in which there's a massive supply, and vendors were like, "Oh shit, well, we have so much on hand." And then they just stopped making GPUs, RAM, and everything until the supplies ran out, and then all the prices went up from that. They realized that they can just artificially lower the supply to keep prices high. And so that's just what they've been doing. And the fact is that they're already being suspected of price fixing, and they're going to continue to be doing it for the foreseeable future. They're looking at 5 years in the future is when RAM prices will start to go back down.
Genghis asks a sad question. The answer is don't. What should I do? He asks if I'm planning to build a PC late next year. This question is specifically for Bucky and Fuzzy. He claims Bucky's choice. But, unfortunately, this is the Bunchcast. There's no specifics. Rapier is also allowed to answer this as well. Go for it, Rapier.
I have an answer for him. Gabe Cube.
Well, it depends on how much they cost, but that might be.
So, Kibs, we have a secondary link after NVIDIA's bullshit. There's the one, the follow-up AMD thing. What?
God
what are you doing?
Damn it.
It's part of your pre-clicked links, Kibs. You've already clicked on it.
They've clicked on it already? Oh.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what links he's clicked on, Bucky.
Is it this one over here?
Yeah, it's probably one of those links. No.
Astonishing. AMD.
There you go.
Yep, 9800 XT 3D bundle gets you a $700 motherboard, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a 360 millimeter cooler for $799. Newegg drops the craziest Black Friday deal so far.
Yes. So what AMD is starting to do is it's starting to bundle already pre-made Corsair RAM and other stuff together into their CPU bundles and selling that. So that way they're trying to go for like bulk selling to make profit instead. And so it lowers the price of overall RAM because it's already been pre-made. And data centers don't like RGB RAM, just to let you know. So there's two types of RAM. There's data center RAM with no RGB, and then there's regular RGB RAM, or like I don't know what you call them, enthusiasts, and that don't go into data centers.
Huh. So, Bucky, you little predictive
Mhm.
little sage squirrel, he gets RGB, and the reason is because it doesn't go into a data center if it's RGB.
Yep. It's actually far more expensive, which is why data centers don't do it. But they may start tapping into it. I don't know. But it's not very likely that they're going to utilize RGB RAM in data centers.
Realistically, though, these data centers are getting completely out of fucking hand here.
As when it comes to these data centers, I will always reiterate this: none of these data centers and none of these companies have produced us any profit yet. They're operating on huge losses.
Yeah, sort of. They're working on government funding, is what they're doing, trying to get contracts.
Yes, they're just trying to take our money from taxes, fucking assholes, to keep themselves fucking fed. Parasites.
Yes.
So Genghis has made another dono, Kibs. Should you read that?
He donates $5 and says, "My PC is already more powerful than a GameCube. What should I do?" Same takes. I'm drunk. Drink water, I can tell. Also, make sure you chill out on the donos. At least don't do $5 ones if you're drunk. Like, do the cheaper ones.
What if you can't put all the words in there you want in there?
Oh, okay. Because I worry that he spends
then
too
you
much.
Then you could do two $2 ones.
He saves $1.
It's cheaper.
Saves $1. We're really penny pinching here.
In any case, the answer is AMD is going to try to fill the void, and that's why they're doing all these deals right now. So even though you might get like a less of an increase in capacity, it's far more affordable than trying to buy like, I don't know, an NVIDIA card that is skyrocketing. So we may see a lot more AMD PC builders out there. That means AMD might get a lot more graphics support for its fucking drivers.
True. AMD might become the new champion because NVIDIA was very dominant. Like, I've got my 4090 and I'm very happy with it. Like, I think my 4090, I'll get another good few years out of it. But I think my next card is probably going to be AMD, the way this is going.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a 64-core PC next.
Just goes fast.
Yep.
You and your god
That's
PCs.
my goal.
You gotta go fast. You got a little Sonic the Bucky over here. Yeah.
I can generate a video game for Kibs. That way he doesn't have to build one anymore.
Damn.
And
yeah, but that's my answer, Genghis. Go ahead, Fuzzy.
Now, I gotta say, people have been clamoring for AMD to play save us from NVIDIA for years now. We started seeing warning signs with the 4090, where it's becoming clear. The 5090 made it blatantly obvious that NVIDIA really doesn't care about us. They really don't. It's like, what have we complained about with the 4090? Exploding on fire power connectors? It takes up way too much power, AI features that aren't doing any good for us. What do? Double down on every single problem, where the 5090 has even more of a power and turning on fire problem.
And AMD is also raising prices. Yes, it's because the chip manufacturers are raising prices. They're gonna have to raise prices as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know how to rig the lottery? Yeah, you run it.
Damn. True. This is technically related. AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT graphics card prices are now cheaper than ever, with prices starting as just £539 by the way. It's a lot more in USD. Now is a fantastic time to upgrade to our favorite mid-range GPU. £579 for a mid-range GPU? Sadness. Oh my god, that's quite expensive. Sapphire Pulse.
$699 for US, and then when I look at it on Amazon, the Sapphire is actually cheaper. It's no, actually it's $699 on this one, and then it drops to $649. So yeah, right there's $649.
Big GPU chat, bros, to get your PC's power up.
And to be honest, because I have a 5700 XT, this is actually worth upgrading.
Well, I mean, yeah. Gangs get to say, would you teach me how to rig lottery? Same tags. Thank you for the nation. We will read your donos after if you're going to rapid fire them, because there's just too many. Now, we must move on to the next article. Why some long-time YouTube channels are disappearing without warning. Why would that happen, chat? Why are we going to disappear? Chatfish, help.
I love my new AI overlords.
So, this is actually AI related.
Yes. Now, chat, if you look at who made this is Times India, or the Indian Times or whatever.
Times
really funny.
Yeah.
The Times of India.
God.
It's just really funny because they're the ones complaining about this, which is, one, it's legitimate, but two, it's just really funny because Indians have been caught faking being Americans on a lot of things.
Yes, especially as of late, or faking various like the
it's just really
ethnics.
funny.
Like they've been faking being Israeli, they've been faking being like American, they've been European.
Yeah.
They're just weird. I guess they're just shit stirrers, aren't they? Literally.
Yeah. But you got this, Kibs.
A growing number of YouTubers are reporting a disturbing trend. Long-running, well-established channels vanishing from the platform overnight with no clear explanation. These aren't small accounts or new creators. They're channels with years of uploads, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and a spotless community guidelines record. Yet many of them are waking up to find their channels suddenly terminated or hit with severe strikes, all under vague labels like spam, deceptive practices, or linked to malicious accounts. What's alarming creators even more is that these penalties appear to be triggered by automated AI-driven moderation systems, not human review. This wave of sudden takedowns has sparked widespread concern across the creator community. Channels like Enderman and several in the tech and gaming categories were abruptly removed, only to be restored later after massive public outcry suggesting that the original terminations were mistaken. As creators compare notes, a pattern is emerging. Automated systems are falsely flagging legitimate channels as harmful, and the appeals process itself is often handled by more automation. I know this. I've dealt with them. They are automated. There is no one to talk to. With so many livelihoods tied to YouTube, mine and several others associated with Battle Image Studios is tied to it, creators are calling these AI errors catastrophic, and some are now urging U.S. Creators to involve lawmakers to push regulatory oversight. Yes, at this point, it's gotten so bad that it needs to happen. We have actually already had something happen to us earlier this month, where we received a warning from YouTube that basically said that we were conducting terrorism or something like that, or that we had done something with like terrorism and promoting it somehow. And I'm just like, what? And that they removed the video and they issued us a warning. Here's the issue. On the day that warning was issued, we had one stream take place. We did not have two. We only did one stream. That stream was a black and white 2 stream, which is still listed on YouTube. Yet we were still issued a warning on an email. However, the channel backend for the Bickering Bunch has no warning issued. Yet the channel linked email, the Gmail, has received an email saying that we have been issued a warning and that it posts a link to a video that we don't own that was removed that isn't our video. But yet we were warned. Like, what the fuck is going on? Not only that, but like, yeah, no, there needs to be oversight. Firstly, as a content creator, I have no ability to contest or do anything when I have something illegitimately taken down, which has happened several times to my channel. Several times. I've been issued things that have genuinely been bullshit. I've never once been issued anything that was legitimate. Ever in the history of me running this channel. And I've run this channel for years. And every single time, I cannot contact or talk to any YouTube representative for help. Yet I, in my livelihood, make them money all the time. Yet I have zero representation within the company. I have zero ability to defend myself. I have zero ability to even talk to anyone. I am not allowed to talk to somebody in YouTube. If something happens, I don't get to talk to anybody. They don't care. I have to hope that some big YouTuber will maybe, with connections, because only the big ones have connections, maybe say like, hey, can you look into this? And maybe they'll look at it. And I know this as a content creator because I've talked with the content creators and I've been advised to reach out to content creators for help when this happens by other content creators, because we have no alternative. We have no support. We have nothing. They take 30% of my money. 30% of my money. I earned that money. I put in all the work. I did all the work for that. All you did is host a channel for me to stream. I can stream anywhere else and make money. You take 30% of my money, and I don't have any representation, any ability to speak to anybody, or whatsoever. Steam takes 30% of my money if I sell a game there, right? But I get a representative. I can talk to people there. I can also talk to the Steam. I can also like do things like there's like different systems and stuff like that. There's all sorts of back end things and bonuses for that. And YouTube, I get nothing. I get no treatment whatsoever for them taking 30% of my money. And I make more money than most YouTubers make with my tiny channel. Our big channel swings bigger than 100,000 plus sub channels because Chatfish are strong. We make more, and we don't have the ability to speak to anybody because we don't have a high subscriber count. It doesn't matter that we make them the most money. They don't care. The only thing they care about is like high subscriber count and good PR. Like, God forbid you produce anything else. God forbid your little channel still producing money, even if it's not a lot. You get no representation. You work and you make this into a livelihood. This channel feeds like several people. Yet, if YouTube pulls the plug on this channel, their livelihoods are at stake. If they give us a strike, we are banned from communicating with you. By the way, did you know that? If they give us a strike, I can't inform you they do that. If they take my channel down, I can't tell you where I'm going to be. All I can say is check my Discord in the description, because it's the only way I can communicate with you guys directly. The Discord is my last line of protection against YouTube and its tyrannical bullshit. Like, we literally need some form of actual regulation inside of YouTube, because it's very clear, or government needs to pressure them to start actually doing something and not actually regulating things, because we have zero protections whatsoever. They can just terminate my channel, illegitimately, mind you, and I'll get nothing. And they don't even have to restore it. They might not just restore it. I don't have any rights. The only reason why they would is so that they don't have bad PR. That's it. Only if big YouTubers comment on it. Go for it. What?
I think you're missing the fact that not only do they delete your channel, they take all your AdSense revenue.
Yeah, they take the money. They'll never pay me either. They'll just pocket it. They'll never give me any of the last cents that I earned. They'll keep everything. So, like, yeah, if they did that, by the way, and if YouTube does that, they would actually, I'd be homeless. That's what would happen to me, by the way. Did you know that, chat? If YouTube takes away my stuff on all the money I need every month to survive, not only would I be homeless, but like several other people on the team would be starving. If YouTube pulls the plug like that, they would effectively destroy our lives. And they have that power over us. We live in fear of this corporation. And we have every single year since becoming full-time. You live in fear forever. Because this corporation, regardless of how successful you are and how profitable you are, they can just pull your plug because they find it funny. And you have zero legal recourse and zero ability to defend yourself, and zero ability to be compensated for any damage they do, there is literally nothing we can do to defend ourselves whatsoever. The only thing I can do is hope to God that my audience will at least click on the Discord link and join the Discord community, and so I can inform them whenever something happens. And I have to pray to God that they do. And if they don't, then I lost that viewer forever. And I know I promote and I push the Discord a lot, chat, but that is why I do it. I do it because if I don't, I'll lose all of you forever if they do that to my channel. And I'll never get you back because you'll never find me. Like, it'll be rare to find somebody on the internet. It's very hard. The internet's huge. And so it's very difficult for people to find each other. So, yeah, it's either that or it's bust. And this is why this is so bad. What has happened to these YouTubers is so fucking horrible. Like, I genuinely am so angry. Like, what will YouTube do to set this right for the victims? Their livelihoods have been ruined, right? Like, you lost that money. God forbid they didn't even fix your problem. How many people lost things because of this? Who lost their home because of this? YouTube needs to do something because they are a workplace. Content creators need to have some basic rights and protections. Not talking about like extensive fucking like, no, I don't want any union shit. I don't want to be thrown into unions because unions are literally the worst thing imaginable. I want this corporation to be mandated to have representatives for us to speak to, at the very least, so I can talk to somebody in YouTube who has the access and power to fix my problem if something is wrong and help me. I also want YouTube to remove any sort of shadow bans and shit like that they do, and actually give all content creators the basic fair ability to promote their content. That's it. It's the most basic fucking thing. And we don't even have that. Like, that's it. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking.
I don't even think you're going far enough. I want a representative that is from the U.S. to answer my fucking
Yes.
question.
Oh, that goes without saying. You think I want somebody from India who doesn't care or understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want a U.S. representative. I want an American who can speak my language and understand me to speak to. You take how much of my money? You take 30%. You can hire someone with that amount of money and still have profit. Literally. And that representative's job will be like one representative should be for like several dozen YouTubers or so. Like, because I guarantee you, we're not gonna have to. Like, I rarely have anything I need to even talk to YouTube about. But there are times when I would like to talk to them about it. Like, for example, YouTube's unclear and vague policy. My first strike that I ever received was for a edgy name that I made for a Harry Potter stream. I will point out that name I cannot say, but that name is put on big YouTubers videos to this day. Not only that, but it's also on legacy videos. Yet I, for whatever reason, because I'm small or who I am, I don't know, I am discriminated against, and I don't get the ability to like fight back against that. Yet everyone else can say it, but I can't. Like, what? That's not fair. Not only is that not fair, but there's other people with content with the same word in it, but I cannot say it. But I cannot. It's unfair. Like, I should be able to produce whatever content I want for my audience. If my audience doesn't like my content, they will stop donating. You, YouTube, shut the fuck up and sit in your fucking place and let me do my job. Like, I'm bringing in the money. You don't do anything. You don't earn any money. Like, I earn it. Fuck.
The fact that YouTube runs at a loss is just amazing.
It's just, you have no rights. And this happened once before, and I cannot express how terrified I was, chat. Like, you might not care, you might not know, or whatever, but it happened to me once before where I got banned for like 2 weeks. Over something I couldn't even fight back against. Over something that I still believe does not violate the terms of service. I don't think I've ever violated the terms of service. Yet, it's happened to me twice throughout my channel. And like, one time, it's like, I can't do anything about it. You can't contest it. You can't fight it. You can't be like, you just don't get a choice. And not only do they do that to you, they muzzle you. I cannot communicate with my audience. I can only talk to them through Discord. If you're on Discord, I'm not muzzled there yet, right? So, like, they can't prevent me from speaking to you guys. But on YouTube, you know what they did? They silenced the account so I couldn't make a community post to let you guys know what happened. And so for just 2 weeks, I was just gone. And I was forbidden from telling you guys anything. I was forbidden from talking to you guys. I was forbidden from telling you anything whatsoever. That is fucking awful. That is literally the worst thing. That's not even just like censorship. That's literally fucking totalitarian. Like, you want to talk about like fascism? People like to throw that word around. You want to talk about that? That's actual fascistic authoritarianism right there. You don't even have the ability to defend yourself. You don't even have the ability to talk. You just get fucking blindfolded and shot in the back of the head and dumped into a ditch along with everybody else. Like that's how bad it is. And there's still nothing to do. Like, I've talked about this issue before, and the reason I don't talk about it all the time is because it's kind of pointless, because like there's nothing that can be done about it because they refuse to do anything. There's nothing I can do against YouTube's tyranny to defend myself. That's just how it is. Gangs K22 said ban AI now. JDM violators. But yeah, that concludes my problem with YouTube. It's an issue that's not just my issue. It's an issue with every content creator. Every content creator is suffering because of this. And so, content creators, for the most part, the majority of them are independent creators. They're independent, average Joes, average Joettes, working their own little job, doing their own work, earning money, and YouTube takes a cut and doesn't give them a goddamn thing for it. They don't get anything. And they take 30%, not just from me, but from everyone. That's how fucking bad it is. It is one of the worst corporations to exist in the history of ever. EA was rated the worst? No. EA or whatever, all those corporations, they don't have nothing on YouTube. YouTube is the worst company to work for. Or not to work for, but to be like associated with. Because technically I don't work for them, they pay me. It's hell. It's actually hell. But yeah. So there's that shit. That's it. I think, is that everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just about. Now, as for the YouTube debacle that keeps happening, in the US we may, I have to put in quotations, may get a solution for it. In the US, this problems with content moderation and this AI enforcement of YouTube content. Tried in Europe? Well, good luck. Your governments have outright banned a lot of this content and have mandated it, which makes a problem since Kibs is in the US. We're all in the US. This should not be affecting us. Yet you're having this huge problem of how do you enforce these rules in different countries all the time. You'd think it shouldn't be a problem, but on top of YouTube and their owners' Alphabet's own philosophy of pro-censorship and tyranny against content creators, you now have governments pressuring US companies to enforce this tyranny, and a lot of them love to try and sneak this or shadow ban and suppress US content creators through YouTube. And this is just another example of it. This is another way of manifesting it. It's immensely frustrating.
Yep. It's bullshit. And YouTube should really, honestly, have a massive overhaul to their literal guidelines. Because their guidelines are bad, too. They're also vague and ambiguous. And the reason why they are, by the way, if you ever read them, is entirely due to the fact that they're catch-alls. Everyone violates their alleged guidelines. But they don't act on it. And that way they can get you whenever they want. Again, comprehensive reform needs to happen to YouTube's guidelines. Comprehensive reform needs to happen to their overall systems, and they shouldn't actually be able to issue you strikes at all, in my opinion. Like, anymore. Like, no more of it. Because the reality is that people make content. Okay, categorize it. There, problem solved. Oh, I'm so sick of their bullshit. All right, so I think that wraps up pretty much everything, right?
I believe so.
With that all wrapped up, Chatfish, the next stream we have today is going to be the not ultimate, why did I use the word ultimate? Unreal Tournament community stream, where you are all welcome to play with us and have a good time. And if you don't have a good time, and you're like Bucky, and you sit in your little corner and be sad, you'll be beaten to death. You don't want to be... Bucky's like, why am I going to be beaten to death? You know what you did, Bucky. You little squirrel creature. So yeah, we're going to go stream that. We'll see you guys there. Kib, no look, the funny I posted in discussions. Okay, I will take a look at it. This isn't technically a fireside stream, so we don't normally cover what Chatfishes won't. Let's see. Discussions.
The Attack on Titan crossover.
I'm in Bickering Bunch discussions. Oh, you know what? I can show something off. Take a look at this, Chatfish. Take a look. The Thanksgiving feast that I had at my family's was very good. Look at that ham. Look at that ham, Bucky. Look how good it is. Look at the bark on that ham. Does that
They
not
burned it.
look
I see
amazing?
better.
That's not burn. That's bark. You know what bark is, right?
Yeah, the kids.
It's
Stream's
glaze.
paused.
Look at it. Look at the beauty of it.
Okay. Now let me see here. Oh, that's not bad.
Turned out pretty
Does
good.
it say- is this a honey baked ham?
Yep. You can see the glaze in
Okay.
there.
Like a butterball ham or the honey baked ham store one.
Well, we glaze it ourselves. We make the glaze ourselves.
Damn, you hear that chat? He glazed it himself.
Damn. Just like, ooh. Look at how good that shit is, dude. This is so good. I got some of that in the fridge. It tastes so good. Oh my god. It turned out
Nice.
really good.
I prefer ham over turkey and Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Same. We make turkey because baked turkey is fun, and we use the baked turkey because it's juicy and delicious, but it's never as good as ham. Ham is so much more rich with flavor. Pork. Delicious, chat, isn't it? Delicious.
Steamed ham, asks Trusty.
There's a plate showing off all the food. I got pink stuff. I got fruit
We
salad,
got pink stuff.
buttered carrots, little piece of twinkie, corn baked bread, delicious buttered garlicky potatoes, and ham. Very delicious. My parents bought salt and pepper grinders that were automated, and I'm just looking at them like, why did you buy that? Like, you can press a button and it has a light that lights up where you're aiming and also grinds the stuff for you. And a part of me is like, I kind of like the little twist grinds. I don't know how I feel about that.
You will like everything automated and smart
It's like,
now.
they're really into tech, like a lot, so they like their tech stuff.
I hope they don't actually have a lot of smart tech.
They don't have like a lot of it, but they do have some. The government is spying on my family. I know it. The government is.
They're gonna have ads everywhere now on their smart tech.
I have tried lamb before. Lamb is pretty good. It's very delicious.
Scientific
okay.
name, pink stuff.
If
Those
seasoned.
burgers.
It's all about how you cook it. Alright, so for the
There's
bunch
thing
cast.
I posted.
Oh, Chatfish brought their own little things they want to talk about too. Okay, fine. I will open all these things for my
You say
Chatfish.
Chatfish. I see Plague, Boulder, and then a bunch of Yinless games.
Hold on. I'm just going to open everything. Because there's not that many. These are the last things that I will talk about them. And then I will kill the Chatfish. Like, Okay. Mouse, stop turning off. Fuck, I'm going to kill myself. Oh my god.
Just use a wired mouse, Kibs.
That looks so bad. Okay,
And if you're gonna show that, I'll just post the thing I sent to Bucky.
All right, so this article. Oh god, brace yourselves for the cringe, chat. All right, you guys
Here's
ready?
an image for you then.
Did you put it where? In the
In the
discussions?
stream room.
Fuck, I hate
I
you.
can put it in discussions if you want.
I put it in discussions. I'll open it later. So, Nick Tech posts, just finished the Attack on Titan crossover quest and Assassin's Creed Shadows. My jaw dropped during this cutscene, not due to how amazing it was, but how bad it was. I'd say this is the most low effort I've seen that has been put into a Ubisoft game. Nothing screamed interesting about this quest, and when you finally get to face a Titan, you're just running away from it until it's trapped underground. And that's it. Nothing happens. You don't win anything except for a promotion of new cosmetics that cost around $20. I wasted 30 minutes of my life completing this, so you don't have to endure this. Well, Nick Tech, you're a brave little bucketfish. Be strong. Be brave. And let's see what he endured. Let's see what happened to Nick.
It is over.
Gout wins free. Come on, let's go.
I shall ascend.
Oh my god.
Go!
Come on. We can't let that Titan eat Gout win.
You want a meal, monster? Come and get it!
The animations are so stiff.
Ah!
So bad.
This is really bad, yeah. It's so stiff.
Titan is on my heels. You must hurry.
Oh my god,
Best
that's the
ending.
kill animation. It doesn't even eat you. Oh my god.
Someone back home once said, a person who can't
When you said towering creature, you really meant a towering creature.
Oh my god.
Thank you. All of you.
Well, it finally happened. I met someone taller than you.
And with a bigger appetite, too.
I don't know about that.
Oh my god. That was it. That was
That was an experience.
20 bucks. Was it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, $20. Honestly, you know what? Maybe I was too harsh with war sales.
You don't win anything except for a promotion of new cosmetics that cost around $20. So that's to promote buying cosmetics for the game.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Here's the pop up for the schematics. Attack on Titan. Quest complete. That picture does not look at all related to what I just saw.
Because it wasn't.
Quest complete. Customize Naoe and Yasuke with Attack on Titan themed cosmetics in the store. That was awful. That was genuinely fucking awful. Speaking of Assassin's Creed Shadows, I didn't see the article for this because I don't care enough, but I did read that Assassin's Creed Shadows is no longer going to receive content support anymore.
But the game sold well, don't you know? They
Yeah.
said so themselves.
They keep saying it sold well, but they pulled the plug on its content support. Mind you, Assassin's Creed Odyssey received content support for years. Like, it got so much bullshit DLC, it went on for, like, ever. Oh my god.
Now, you should bring up the thing I posted in the discussions, because it's appropriate from its
Death to
partially
Trumpus because
about
he's
that.
stuttering. Do you think video games did well this year? Oh my god, that's quite funny, isn't it? You've got the Call of Duty Black Ops thing that happened with the giant dude, and then you got the fucking Attack on Titan thing. Now that's
They're
just
about the same quality.
they're about the same quality of games. Not particularly good. And then Plague thought the model freezing where it did was quite funny. I hope you're happy, Plague. The Titan looks like a glitched character. Yeah, from The Sims. Yeah, it just looks like its lips don't work. It's just bad. It's just low effort. Alright, back to this. Next up, we have is Flashpoint Cold War, which Yinglis pointed at, which is a Master Grand Tactical Combat. Master Grand Tactical Combat as Cold War Force. Oh, I actually have something to show chat that's kind of cool, actually. I almost forgot about it. In this data-rich simulation, plan and issue orders and asynchronous WEGO turns, leveraging real-world maps and complex features like electronic warfare and air assaults to outthink your enemy. So it's like one of those autistic military games that Chatfish might be interested. It's gonna be a spreadsheet game, chat. I'm warning you that right now.
It is. It 100% is a spreadsheet game.
So there you have it, chat. If you're looking for more autistic little war simulation games, there's one out there on the market right now. Another one has entered the market. Isn't that cute, chat? These are not for me. But they're for somebody, I'm sure. Somebody who really likes this stuff. But there you have it. Then there's Elemental Reforged, which is a game re-released by Stardock. I looked at it. I don't think it was my cup of tea, but it's basically a 4X sci-fi game where you basically, do your 4X stuff, build, expand, exterminate, and dominate in, a fantasy sort of setting. Which came out, is relatively well received. It seems like people enjoyed the fresh take on it, and it's doing better than it did initially, which is good, as it stands at mostly positive and very positive. It's not going to be the most, what's the word, eye-catching game for most people. Then we have lastly Soulframe. Games that from English are games that are usually summed up with one sentence, usually. This is from the creators of Warframe emerges a new fantasy action RPG. Is Digital Extremes actually Warframe? They are. Okay,
so it's Warframe but fantasy now.
They're making a fantasy-based Warframe. Is it going to be an MMO, just like the previous one? It's got single-player and online co-op. Who knows? It might be more interesting. I'll add that to the list. We'll check that out. I'll let it have sound. My ears!
Very mechanics.
My question is the story and the world going to be interesting? This might appeal to Bucky, though. He likes those number floaty games.
I don't know about that.
They were right.
He likes deers, too.
Her blue blood is as old as Alkan stone. As omen beasts, as voicing trees. Each of these with magics no dullard human.
Fucking bear man. Probably a druid. It's a co-op game that's coming out. Made by the Warframe devs.
Huh, that's funny.
The spell song made us forget.
If you go back to that arrow thing, that's the same attack frames as the
Each of these with magic.
what was it? The Amazon game. That attack right here.
A lot of games
That's the
have
same
this
thing.
in other
New
games.
World?
World of Warcraft
Yeah,
has
yeah.
that too. Where they shoot an arrow up in the sky and it shoots a billion arrows out of the sky.
Forget all others.
It's a bit of a
Learn the river's
basic
curse,
spell, I'd say.
For only the souls now remember.
Those swords that guy had upset me.
You can tell it's Warframe because they have goofy, nonsensical gear they're wearing.
Yes, and it's kind of got that similar art style for the
Frame,
equipment
and
and
then
whatnot.
Soul frame.
Ah! Stop it. I wasn't paying attention to the name when I first read it. Armor looks dog shit. Yeah, I don't really like the look of the armor.
Yeah, it looks like Warframe armor, but medieval.
The characters don't look ugly though, at least so far.
At least some of the metal parts actually look like metal as opposed to flesh, like everything in Warframe looks like.
They've even got a song in this one. It's got singing. Just like that Lift Together thing. Bug. This reminds me of that game Bucky showed us, like, earlier last year. What was it called? With, like, the trucks?
No idea.
Bucky! What's that game
I know.
with the trucks and the guy who was actually not evil but was right about the aliens? You know what it's called, Bucky? I know your memory works. It was made by the fucking people that made the Gears of War S game. Chumpus. Outer Worlds, you fuck. The fact that I had to remember it myself made me annoyed. All right, so it's fantasy Outer Worlds. That's what it looks like. There. Fuck. Now I'm angry about that revelation.
Outriders is Ragnarok.
It's outright.
Ah!
Outer Worlds is an entirely different thing.
Whatever. Outer
Same
Riders.
says Men in Black. Outer Riders.
Outer Riders. This looks like Fantasy Outriders. Bucky won't want to play this. I know it.
It looks better than Outriders.
Bucky's now mad. Bucky's now doxing you.
I'd rather play the unmade.
Although Outriders might have a better story.
True. Just don't snork
Also, Kibs, I want you to look up Total Chaos.
on this game. Total chaos. Why does it sound familiar?
All right, now and then play
Is
the.
it on your wish list?
It is.
Why is it
Play
on
it.
my wish list? What the fuck?
Just watch it.
I've been alone in this place. Isolated and rotting away.
Oh my god, he's gonna
You
blast me.
like floating rocks.
It's a Doom mod turned game.
Apogee. Trigger happy and right.
Atari.
I've lingered here far longer than
Okay,
I ever
it says Atari, but they're not the same
meant.
Atari.
Retracing old steps and replaying every moment.
Yeah, look at the look at this game.
Wondering
This
where
is
it
a
all
much
fell
better game.
apart.
You should play this.
Looks kind of creepy.
But why? What's the point? You can't rewrite what's already happened. My path brought me here to this corpse of a home. These fading memories. They're all I have left. You fought so hard not to drown. And yet here you are, dragging yourself deeper.
Actually, looks kind of promising.
It feels familiar, doesn't it?
That's good because it's already out.
It is?
Yes,
You left this place once.
it just came out.
just in time for spooky season.
It came out a little late for spooky season.
If you still had a chance to leave, would you take it?
A horror game by Sam Preble, Akira Yamaoka.
It didn't look that chaotic.
Looks like a fun little shooter. Looks like horror themed. I wouldn't say it's particularly super scary, but I don't know.
This place.
Apogee. Why does Apogee ring a bell? Who the fuck? Aren't you like ancient or something? Rise of the Triad? That's ancient as fuck. Oh my god, they are Apogee. They're ancient. Just like, oh.
Yeah, the Doom mods, like especially this game is made by the team that was making a mod for Doom, and then they just changed it to an actual game.
It's just like, fuck it, let's make a real game. Yeah, they made that Wizardrum game. That looked kind of neat. Well, no, they didn't. They published it. It's Doom, but fantasy.
They're publishing the other game, too.
God damn it, scroll wheel. If you fucking scroll down one more time on the screen. Then fucking...
What's Total Overkill games?
See, they're just publishing.
Oh yeah, the publishing for Trigger Happy Interactive. Game, computer, whatever the fuck you're called.
Clench your holes, kids. We're entering paradise.
It's very well received.
It's also trigger happy.
It's a quick trip. Paradise isn't the place you want to be for long.
Why have I not heard of this?
The virus is rapidly spreading its tendrils across the city.
Smoking based.
Brimstone, man. We need that virus purged now. That chainsaw leg ain't
It's got retro themes.
Chainsaw legs.
The Doom.
It's not Doom, more like Quake. Like,
have to
Not
purge
quite.
sin,
Okay,
and we have to do it now.
just 3D.
You dare stand before me? You who is but blood and dust. You cannot live in a world without sin.
You never could dance, Johnny.
Ow.
Sir, go fuck them up.
Car suits, oh my god.
In these last years, I've seen so much. I've seen gods. I've become one. I cannot have you getting in my way. This ends now.
Turbo Overkill, now available on consoles and PC from Apogee.
There's some games that just slip out under the radar. Well, it's very well received, all things considered. So that means they probably did, if the record's that's probably going well for Total Chaos, which just launched
Boomer Shooter.
Stone Age
9 days ago.
is very woke. IARC.
Oh, is it? How is it? I have no idea. I didn't see anything in the trail that made me think that, but I assume you know more than I do. They made a whole bunch of DOS games. They're a 90s company. Yeah, they're still around. Because I've heard of Apogee before. They made Doom clones, and you know they didn't have the highest thing. I think they had a game with William Shatner in it, if I remember right. Are they the company I'm thinking of? William Shatner. He was in one game that might have been made by them. Was it the throwback pack that I saw had it? Maybe. Special Agent, Aliens, Gold Planets. I don't think so.
Stone Age might be thinking of a different game.
You might be. I think you were confusing with a similar game. Tech War. Yeah, Tech War. That was the game with William Shatner in it. That was funny. But
It's actually called William Shatner's Tech War.
yeah, isn't it? Yeah. Oh my god. That's not the same company, Apogee, is it? Or is it a different one?
To what?
Who made Tech War? It wasn't Apogee, was it? Apogee's about as old they could have.
Capstone Software.
Capstone Software? Okay.
It was released on DOS. You're really old, Kibs.
What are you talking about? I'm not old. I just remember researching the old games and I found out about fucking Tech Wars. Starts visibly aging. Withering in front of Bucky. Bucky's like, "Get be gone, crusty kid." Blinks away.
Kibs is now too old.
That's me every day. Every day of my fucking life.
Past her prime.
Wow, rude. All right, Chatfishes. It's now time for the Unreal Tournament stream, I think. So thank you for your generous donations and good job on making the daily goal. We've gotten through everything, I believe. And we will see you in the next stream, which will be in about like 5 minutes or so. So see you there. Goodbye and be good, little Chatfish. Be.